I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone for public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda and the previous meeting minutes dated July 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Wactor,
Second.
second by Garmin. Discussion on the agenda or minutes. If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Discussion decision to approve the handwritten claim. That was in your board packet for the amount of $10,000 to the reserve account
For postage.
for postage, yep.
So moved.
Motion by Stecker,
Second.
second by Wactor. Discussion on the handwritten claim. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Discussion decision to approve resolution designating voting representatives for the Iowa State Association of Counties.
This is an email that I received from Molly Hill from Iowa Association of Counties, stating that ISAC approved an amendment to the Articles of Incorporation to position the organization for an updated tax status with the IRS, and to clarify that the IRS, that it's the counties that control, act, and vote on ISAC matters. The Articles of Incorporation were amended to have the Board of Supervisors designate voting delegates through a resolution. So they sent a copy of the resolution. I did send it to Todd. I have not heard anything back from Todd either way, but this is the resolution that they would like all the counties to sign and get back to them. It does list on the resolution Judy Samp's name. We would need to change that to, now that we have Brandon, we would need to change that to Brandon. But otherwise,
As well as Blaine Struthers and,
oh,
zoning.
Zoning.
Both those two need to have Corey's.
okay. Thank you.
Yep. Was Blaine before, Aaron?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's been a couple ago.
yeah.
Is Lindsay still public health?
Yep.
I believe so,
Or did-
yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I knew she was still on it, but I didn't know if she was the.
She's the person.
Yeah.
In the spirit that the counties control, act, and vote on ISAC matters, who amended the Articles of Incorporation?
I think that would be the board of directors, which would be voted on by the counties as a whole.
Okay.
I made,
It's a Republican form of government. Elected a board of directors voting, I don't know the answer either.
I wasn't at the last meeting or anything, so I don't know if there was anything acted on at that, I couldn't tell you. Normally I would.
Says the ISAC membership approved, I guess, I don't.
So most likely it was recommended by the board of directors and voted on at the last conference, but I don't know for sure.
So we as counties vote on the board of directors?
Yeah,
There.
When do we do that?
they send
At
us,
the district meetings.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know that any of us have attended except me on a couple of them on Zooms.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we have a resolution, what is our number here today?
It would be
Yeah.
07292501.
Okay, resolution 07292501. Do we have a motion to approve with those changes?
With the changes in here.
Okay, motion by Stecker. Need a second? Second by Haas. Discussion on the resolution. Hearing none, roll call vote please.
Haas,
Yes.
Garmin,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Nah.
Yes. Okay, we are up to drainage. It is 8:05, perfect. Discussion decision to reconsider, reconsideration of crop damages in DD 60 sub 4. Okay. We have all parties present here for discussion today. I guess, Kyle, you're aware of what's going on. I know you weren't able to be here for
Yeah.
last week or two, and,
I tried to fill him in a little bit.
okay,
Yeah, I talked to all parties.
Okay.
But, I do wish we would have actually informed the whole district and gotten everybody here. There was other concerns that were voiced at the completion hearing that either could have been cleared up or by Tad or could have at least been addressed, so I guess if I had been here when we set this, I would have said that again, but I just wanna make a point of that before we get started.
okay.
I guess
Yeah,
to get us
I was gonna
going,
say-
I could just give a rundown of where we are and
That-
what brings us here today.
Yep, that'd be good.
Just for the record, I'm Tyler Conley, professional engineer with Bolton Mink, signed, the engineer of the Drainage District 60 sub 4 main tile improvement project. That project, was constructed, we had 2 completion hearings, one, I believe, in February, that got continued due to concerns from landowners for, grading and some cleanup work. Then that was, continued until June, yes, mid-June is when that was continued to. At that time, there were, that it had been continued to give landowners additional times for concerns that they had and to work up any sort of objections to the damages that we had submitted in our engineer's report. There was odds and ends cleanups, different complaints of debris, garbage bans, things that I think all parties involved are aware of. Then there was also a larger area at the upper end submitted based on landowners' concerns of the essentially unfarmability of the damaged land as a result of the construction. So at that time, there was a damage claim that was decided to hold from contractor retainage. Now, from there, I'll let Tad and the landowners involved here have the, obviously, we're here, so Tad has concerns about that withholdings. The last thing that I wanted any of this to be was just whoever spoke last spoke loudest and was the only one heard. So I thought it was worth having the discussion, reconsideration, get everybody, at least on this portion. I do tend to agree with Kyle. I think if we're looking to reconsider things, potentially the whole of the district, or at least the affected landowners, it wouldn't be the worst that they were informed. However, we do have people here now that I think could say at least a bit of their piece. So that is what gets us here.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think I read you guys that email that the last time we were here, but
Right.
kind of in a nutshell, you know, there was a few things that, obviously we knew that were issues that we, you know, regrettably did not get taken care of. There are also some things that, you know, even on the Gorkowski land, there are a few little small areas that could be done better. As a whole, I feel like most of that, if not, probably I would guess 90% of it could be farmed, just like everybody else did along the district. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to go up there and take a look at it, like I said, but I didn't drive by on the road, I didn't go out there and walk, but the majority of it looks like it's leveled exactly the same as everything else. There is a little bit of rock in one particular area that should have been cleaned up better, but for the most part, I think that the damages is like 10 or 12 acres or something like that. And I would say 9.5 of it could have been farmed. So I felt like that was a little bit of a tough result for us, for a small area. That on top of things, I felt like the communication was very poor as far as what needed to be done there. Typically we have a punch list at the end of a project, and then us and the engineer go through and resolve all those issues ahead of time, which we did not receive one, which, the communication with Bolton and Mink honestly was very good throughout the whole project during construction. I felt like they were there quite often, and at the end, it just didn't seem like we had quite as much guidance as far as what needed to be done. We were up there, I think 4 or 5 times this spring, trying to resolve issues for guys so they could get in there and get planted. That is, our goal is to get the guys in the field to, be able to plant. We work with farmers every single day. We understand the importance of getting a crop in that farm. And as far as we knew, we had everything taken care of. I felt like we made attempts to get these guys in the field, and I still feel like I said, the vast majority of those acres could have been farmed fairly easily. I had 3 different farmers go up there and take a look at it with me. They all agreed, and I told them, don't have a biased opinion just because I'm with you. Tell me if I need to be told something. Tell me. I want you to be honest. And all 3 of them agreed that it could have been farmed. So I just felt like it was a little bit of a harsh deal for us. I understand there are a few things that that we could have done better, and we've actually changed our process in some of those. I was talking with Kyle last night, for instance, the bands or the straps that the pipe came with, it was on a common carrier is how it was brought to us from Missouri. Well, since then, we're doing a project just south of Smith City now for you guys, and we won't allow them to bring it on a common carrier, so therefore there's no dunnage, there's no straps. So, hindsight 2020, if I'd have known that they're gonna deliver all this pipe with all that mess with it, and, it gets stomped in the mud, whatever, there was some left behind, and, ultimately, at the end of the day, I wish us and Tyler could have done a walkthrough of the project, or gotten a punch list and went through this project to finish everything up and finalize some details, but, like I said, had we been aware of what needed to be done, we would have had it done in time for those guys to farm the ground and everybody be happy, and now we got, a couple of us pissed off, and it's, it's an unfortunate deal that I felt like could have been avoided fairly easily.
Thanks, Ted. Gorskowski, if you could come up and speak your part if you'd like.
He talks about communications, but I never got a call from him on anything until the very end when they asked, do you want us to leave that one riser out there in the mud hole? And I said no. That was the only communication I ever got from you anytime.
And same.
And the same, it's not my job to talk to you. Your job's to communicate with me. If I built a house, were you supposed to say, gee, what am I doing? I don't know, I'm sorry. This is the number of rocks I got out of 2 square feet. 2 square feet. My son's got, how many pictures? Several.
Could you just
And
please
some video.
state your name? I don't know if everyone knows.
I'm Dustin Gorskowski,
Okay.
I'm his son. This is a video of the one property, if you'd like to watch it. You can see,
And you could have come up and looked at it. That's the rocks around that 2 square feet, and I'll admit it's the worst, or one of the worst spots. The spot in the middle is the 2 square feet that those rocks came out of. They're all over like that. Well, that looks like a little cab down a gravel road, it'd be pretty nice. Nobody communicated with me at all. It's as if my job to go out there and finish the job. We waited, we waited, we waited. Now, we're supposed to leave, what, a spot this big out in the field? I don't know. We left all of the ground that had been worked because it was rough. I do a lot of no-till farming. You cannot fill in the hole with a no-till drill or a vertical tillage machine. You need to level it first. My opinion is this meeting should have been done out at my farm and we could have looked at it at first.
I 100% agree with that.
Then why didn't you come out and see me? We had Humpty.
I don't have, I don't
We
have.
had, it's in the phone book. Simple. His number, he's a frickin' pioneer dealer, he's got advertisements all over and certainly not everywhere on the internet.
Once again, we were out there 3 or 4 times.
You
trying to
never
catch up.
stopped in my yard.
I honestly. I
Mr.
don't know where
Goroskowski,
we live.
just, if we could, I mean, I understand you two
I know, we're
need
upset
to
with each
discuss
other.
or whatever, but
This
this
is a lousy,
I'm not even upset with you, Mr. Gorkowski, I really am not, I just,
think
I
we
felt
could
like
have farmed it.
communication.
How are we
between
gonna
us-
farm around them little rock piles? How are we gonna farm through those dips and things? They had to be leveled beforehand, and nobody came up and did it. You sent up some guys at the end of March so you could get your, was it the end of March?
Yeah.
In the mud to take those risers out.
Yep, and then they did some additional cleanup at that time.
They didn't do any cleanup, they just swished the mud around and tried to bury the rocks instead of, I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Why didn't you have a guy behind there crowding them rocks up and dumping them in on top of the tile where they belong?
We were trying our best, but.
Oh, baloney.
You gotta remember, whenever we're bringing trucks out there, you know, there's a line of rock the whole length. of the
I'm
line.
aware, I know exactly where the
Yeah.
line of rocks is at.
So
It's still
anyways,
there.
as that truck traffic goes through there, that digs the tires dig a trench through there, so there is some excess rock. Like I said in the last meeting that when we were here, what do? Do you take a foot of topsoil or 6 inches of topsoil and throw it in the hole too, or would you rather deal with a few rocks somewhere?
It's not a few rocks, there's at least a semi-load of rocks out on my ground. At least one semi-load across my ground, and if you don't believe it, come out and pick them up. I picked a few of them up.
Like I said.
I bought a rake down at Baumgart's to rake them together and did a few of them, but it's been too wet to finish the job. We've hauled them up, some of them up by my bin site, we can show them to you. There's tons of them left there, there's at least one full semi-load, wouldn't you say? At least across my land, scattered everywhere. It's not a few rocks, it's a lot of rocks.
Which property are you talking about?
The 120 over there across from Allstead, and where I live, and where the other farm is. We got 3 properties. I'm into this for over $608,000 is my bill. And you're arguing about $10,000 worth of damages? Come on. What kind of reputation do you want?
I'm more than happy to get with you and do this, and like I said, we should have done this.
You're gonna wanna bury the rocks. Cover it up
I
like,
have no problem taking care of whatever issues you have.
it
but
would
I-
cost you way more than $10,000 to take care of my issues. And where were you the second time we had this meeting? Why
I
weren't
was
you?
never notified of the meeting.
Well, then where was the engineering for? Why wasn't he notified of the damages and the assessments and the claim at the end of this is gonna be the rest of the file? You said, what? We're gonna have what was that thing? When they sent out that letter that this is going to be a continuation before that in March.
The completion here.
Completion hearing. Wasn't he informed of the completion hearing?
There may have been an oversight of informing Tad.
And that's.
We had a
that's kinda-
continuation of the completion hearing.
That's kind of what I'm saying, with the whole finalization of this project, I felt like, you know, typically there's a walk through the project, we walk through it with the engineer or representative, figure out what needs to be done to complete the project. And
So
that-
why don't we walk through with the landowner?
Well, and that would also have been a great thing too, I mean, the landowner's gonna be the one that's gonna have a complaint, so, you know, a meeting with all the landowners at the end of a project would be, I mean, a really good idea, I don't know whether that's typical, that's not typical though, is it? Typically it's between the
How many of these
engineer
have
and the
you guys
contractor.
done here? This the first one anybody's ever done?
This is the largest tile project in Kossuth County.
Well, then somebody should have been on top of it, because nobody informed me of anything.
It sounds like.
We made a couple of calls to them and they said, well, we're gonna bury those rocks when we dig up the old tile. Okay, we'll wait.
Which that was done in the fall.
And the rocks are still there. It's a mess. We left it because we couldn't think we could properly farm it. We're asking for the crop damages, $10,000. I don't know what you want your reputation in the community to be, but this looks kinda silly to me, to fight this and blame me for it, say, well, you could have farmed it. When was I supposed to go out there and do all this? I'm busy in the spring. It was supposed to have been done last fall by the 1st of December, it was supposed to be done, but it wasn't done. Now I'm on the hook for the fact that you didn't get the job done.
I felt like the majority of that farm.
The majority of it.
Well, the majority of it is a pretty good substantial bill.
$10,000 on a $2,900,000 project is not a substantial bill. It's a piece of nothing.
On a project that we saved you guys over $1 million on.
For what? Coming out and dumping rocks all over my field? You didn't save me anything. This cost me $608,000.
Are you gonna get benefit from?
I will get no benefit from it. I'm 70 years old. What do you think? By the time the interest is done, it's $1 million in 20 years.
Once again, it wasn't my decision to do the project.
Well, my decision, and I'm gonna tell you this right
A
now,
lot of money.
knowing what I know now, I would have fought this tooth and nail. And it wouldn't have went through, because I could have easily come up with enough people to put a stop to it. But I went ahead with it thinking, well, this will be good for the future of the neighborhood. This will be good for the local economy. This will be good for everybody except me. The $608,000 would have bought me a really nice retirement home.
Mr. Gorskowski, just,
I realize I'm getting out of whack here, I'm sorry. But you go out there and you find these vans laying everywhere. You can't pull them out by hand, you gotta go out with a skid loader. You gotta pull them out with a skid loader and a chain, and get on and get off and move back and forth. You find rocks laying everywhere.
Yep.
If he doesn't wanna pay the
I-
10,000, give it up, I'll take care of it, okay? Fair enough? There, are you happy? I'm not.
I'm not happy because you're not happy.
Mi-
I'm not.
Yeah, I'll make sure that, I
Mr.
make sure that
Gorskowski.
everybody.
just, I think we're aware of the issues. It sounds like all through this, especially towards the end of the project, your communication was
Zero.
less than ideal in
No, let me
different
stop.
ways, and so.
It was never, and at any point, were we ever informed of anything,
Okay.
from beginning to end.
So I appreciate you sharing your concerns as well as Tad's.
Another reason why we didn't farm it, because at the continuation of this completion area, figured, oh, they'll be back to clean it up. Figured that, I guess, should've maybe, somebody should've called or had a discussion on what was going on, never happened, but during that time frame, spring planting had come and gone, and nobody had come back to finish cleaning it up, so I guess that's probably the biggest reason why it didn't get planted, so figuring that
If he doesn't,
extending this, we would think things would get.
if he
pretty
thinks,
much
if
done.
he thinks he's getting screwed on this, dismiss it, okay? I can handle $10,000, I'm on the hook for 1/3 of this bill,
Well,
and he's being hurt by this
Like
$10,000.
Like I said, I want everybody to come out of this meeting.
It's not, it's too late for that, that should have been last year ago in March, when you guys came out and dug a trench across my
Mr.
line
Gorskowski.
and left it rough.
Yep, I understand the issues here and appreciate you sharing. The project did go through, so we need to discuss what we're gonna
Guys,
do
I would
here.
recommend you coming out and taking a look at it and deciding. And if you don't wanna do that, cross it off, give him his damn $10,000 and I'll leave. I can afford it, I guess, if
The
I
board-
have to, and if he can't afford it, I guess we'll just let it go.
Yep, and the board will talk about it now.
Okay.
questions anyone has?
Is there benefit to going out there and looking at it? What's the?
I mean, I've got
I don't
videos
think,
from
I
the
don't think it would
roadside.
hurt for us to have a on the scene look at the situation, especially before any decisions made because of all the conversation about it. I think that would not be a bad idea,
Can we be there?
yeah, it should be,
That'd be great, cause we haven't been invited to any other, not to interrupt, but
no,
that's kinda how you feel after a while, so.
Howard, you've looked at it, haven't you?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've not been,
Okay.
I mean, I've seen the videos, and I don't wanna, I'm perfectly willing to go up there, spend the, whatever, 3 or 4 hours it's gonna take to look it over, that's not the issue. The issue is, are we just delaying the inevitable, a hard decision about what we're gonna do? But if it's educational, we should probably go look, it's gonna help make a decision.
The other thing too that I kinda wanna point out too is, you know, on a project like this, people have to realize that ground is not gonna be exactly how it was left, how it was before we got there. I mean, there's a major project go through. There's, you know, like I said, there's crop damage over 3 years that, you know, it gives the farmer time to get that ground back into shape and do normal tillage and get things however they need to, you know, take action out or whatever. So that's something that need to be considered as well, you know, on projects moving forward and in this situation as well.
I guess with the storms we've had, I'm sure it's
It's a
pretty
mess.
wet up there.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Do you guys know is there standing water around there? Do you think it'll be dry where we can get out with rangers or pickups or something in a couple days, or I guess? what
I
are
would
your
say
thoughts on it?
by the end of the week, you'd be able to get out to the ranger and be able to assess what you need to, yes.
Okay,
There are portions of it that are underwater, but you'll be able to tell what you need to tell.
okay,
And also, I mean, another thing that I guess I talked to Kyle a little bit about it, you know, today or yesterday as well, is I'm more than willing to get it how these guys want it. Like, I don't want them to be upset, I want them to have a project out that they're proud of, as well as me, you know, I don't do quality work, or don't do, poor work, and I wanna make sure that I get it taken care of however, but I need to know what they want done and how to do it, you know, I gotta figure out how to do it. So, like I said, I'm willing to go back up there and work with Gorkowski's, as long as they're willing to work with us to get whatever issues that need to be resolved. But I don't feel like the crop damage was a fair assessment. I'm more than willing to do the work to get it,
I
to
don't
get
want,
them.
I don't even want you to do the work, to be honest with me. I don't wanna see you on my farm ever again. That's how bitter I am about this, and that's a cheap ass way of doing it, but the workmanship you've done, and every time you tried to do something, it just made it worse.
I think the board understands what concerns are from each side here.
do you have any other contractors that you've gotten prices from or anything for stuff, or is it later
Yeah,
you guys
I got
were
one
planning
this
on
morning
putting?
from Derek Blair to, do some leveling.
Okay,
I asked some people how to pick the rocks up, but nobody had any ideas on how it could be done. Other than, nobody said, I know any way to pick a bunch of rocks up out of a field.
grand totals 2410 for an estimate, so a couple thousand.
Okay.
I can pick them up, but it's gonna take me a long time and a lot of work. And that would have been my plan all along, and in fact, they would have been picked up by now, and that was the number one reason for leaving that strip, was so we could properly level it, so we can go through it and no-till it in the future without dropping a wheel in a hole and get it leveled. It was a job that should have been done last fall,
Yeah,
so we could have farmed it this spring, but
We
it didn't
understand.
get done. So we left it.
I
because we
think,
didn't we
I
could
think
farm it.
everybody can take some lessons from this. I mean, this is not the first project we've had for a completion date of December, where finish work has ran over into the spring and caused issues, and there were damages withheld on that one as well. But especially the communication side to landowners, if it is not, if a project is not actually completed 100% by the time the completion date hits, I think we need to be conscious and aware of some other way to inform landowners that the contractor's not coming back after this point. And, make sure that there's a clear break on when that responsibility transitions, because that's obviously a significant part of this. I mean, both parties thought that, well, Tad thought they were done, Gorchkowski's thought they weren't, and then everybody sits and waits, and,
I mean, I do understand their frustration. I mean, if they thought we were coming back, and left it, I understand that, but like I said, we were up there 3 or 4 different times, some of it on their land, some of it on other people's lands, trying to get farmers out in the field. Had we known that we needed to do additional work, I would have been more than happy to do that and saved us a lot of hard feelings and, you know.
You could have asked. My number's in the book.
yeah,
There was
I
8,
think we gotta.
there was 8 different landowners and farmers whose land he went through. Only 8,
Yep.
from beginning to end.
That would maybe be another thing to have each landowner's cell phone number, you know, cause had I had his number to call him and, you know, have a direct line saying, you know, hey, you wanna meet me out here, you know, that would have been helpful.
Somebody got a hold of me at the end of it, called me on my phone,
That was, I believe Tyler got a hold of you.
and asked, should we leave this intake out in the middle of this water? I said, no, I don't want an intake there, cover it up. And there was water standing all the way around that inspection board.
Hindsight, it probably should have gotten left at this point, and the way it looked whenever I was up there anyways, cause it would have helped train, but that was his decision.
My address is in the plat book. You drive right past my place umpteen times, nobody ever stopped. Nobody ever tried to communicate with me.
No, I'm following you there, so, yeah, we understand.
And there's probably a lot of them that aren't hooked up yet, because I said to the drainage contractor I had out there one day,
Mr. Gorchkowski, the board just needs to just discuss here just for a minute and then decide on some things. Are you suggesting the board as a whole should look at the damages before making a decision
I
then?
think we should have it on our agenda and meet up at the farm, go through everything.
Okay, well, we can do that, if that's what we're gonna do, then there's no sense in
yeah, I mean,
carrying on the
we
discussion
can-
today.
We should have everybody involved, at least the people that are in the room. I guess I already said my piece earlier about the rest of the district, but, yeah, at the very least, we should be, for the scope of this conversation, yeah.
Okay,
And we could, I don't know, does anybody have objections to putting that on the agenda and going up there, or we all in agreement of find a time and go, or?
that's fine, that's
What
fine.
do you guys think?
Yeah, okay with going up there, if it's gonna come down in the end to, one person's expectation of what's adequate at the end versus everybody else's. You know, I understood from pictures you had, the line across the road got planted and looked pretty decent in the photos, and setting myself up for abuse, I apologize.
if you guys don't wanna pay it, don't pay it.
No,
I'll-
let Howard speak.
It's not us, it's not about us.
I know it's not about you, it's about him, and if he thinks I'm wrong, let's just cancel it.
Let the
I
board,
can
let the
live.
board talk, please.
As a farmer, I would have planted it, one way or another, I would have planted it, I wouldn't have waited, when it got time to plant, I would have planted it, that's, gonna be part of my decision in the end, I would have planted it, but, but then I probably would have gone out there with a chisel plow or a field cultivator, and I know I've heard you say you're no-till, but I would have, and you probably didn't wanna cover up the rocks that were there, we've heard enough of it, I understand. I think I understand, but let's go up there and take a look, and if not the whole district, everybody whose land that it crossed, but you're not gonna, the neighbor's not gonna say, well, you know, we didn't like it, but we farmed it, he's not gonna say that in front of you guys, you know? He's not gonna wanna irritate it, but if there's benefit, let's go. Let's go take a look. Could've been on the agenda today, but we wouldn't have gone today anyway, so.
I'll
It
come too.
it doesn't matter, so let's pick a time and go.
When you wanna do it?
I mean, I kinda would've guessed towards the end of the week, ground conditions might be fit, I'm sure with fair and the timing of it, I don't know if everybody else has busy plans, or if we can do it first thing in the morning on Friday, or I don't know what everybody's schedule looks like.
This week does look a little tough as far as weather, you know, today and tomorrow, I think.
It's gonna rain against the night hours, so.
It'd be better just to shoot for a week from today. Then you get, I don't know what next week's weather looks like, I guess, but.
Neither do they.
Yeah,
It's fine.
more chances of rain, mostly Monday and Tuesday next week, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball on what the weather will do.
Well, nobody
And
does, yeah. I guess we pick a day, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
That's right.
So,
Do we wanna aim for next Tuesday, or?
that's fine.
Or do you wanna start with Friday, and if it doesn't work, then,
I won't,
I won't be here on Friday.
okay.
I mean, I will not be able to do it Friday.
Let's try next Tuesday if that works, and
Yeah.
I don't know, do we wanna put that on for like 1, so that we have our board meeting or leave it off with no time, and then we come up and try and, how do we communicate with everybody on when we're gonna?
well, it
be
depends
there?
how many people you're communicating to, I guess, for coming up. If it's just with Goroskowski's and Tad and Tyler, well, we can be flexible there more than the whole
Right,
district, so.
I mean, just for looking at their land, yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay,
The conversation about the district as a whole, and
I guess what is our agenda? I know we're not at that point, but is it a lot on there, not a lot on there?
Set bid letting for the IDALS project, county handbook, service awards, pay app so far, but if you did it in the afternoon, we should be done by.
otherwise maybe we can.
Why, is even
aim
late
for
morning,
10 or something, yeah, I mean.
is there a
it'll be-
reason we couldn't be up there
Well,
by?
there's no way to know
I
what's
know.
gonna come on the agenda by then.
Okay,
Yeah.
Maybe have a discussion when you know the agenda's getting to be more final, and because then that way we can notify people.
Or otherwise, just set a time now.
10:30?
Sounds early, I mean,
Yeah.
in case we don't make it. Say we're gonna be there at 11:30. Is that okay?
That's
I
fine.
don't have any issues with it.
Or 1 o'clock, I'm fine with 1 o'clock, but I don't care.
1 o'clock sounds a little better.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, that we get, worst case scenario, if we were getting close towards noon, we could hopefully grab food and hit the road and eat on the road and get there by 1 yet, so, I don't know.
That's fine, let's do one, let's do one next week then.
Tuesday?
1 o'clock next Tuesday, let's plan for that.
Do any of you guys have a hard issue with that you're aware of right now?
And where are we meeting?
Do you wanna meet at your home place there, or what would be a good location? Do we wanna meet at the edge of a field, or?
I mean, all 3 of the farms have road access, so I mean, you can meet it, in one.
They have road access, but they don't have driveway access to the one.
Where would you like to meet?
I don't care. I've been coming down here the last 5 times, so my farm is plenty fine with me, I don't care.
What's that
Okay.
address?
Yeah, what address are we coming to?
609 480th Street.
Okay,
Sway City.
yep,
And do I need to inform anybody else?
I don't know how you're gonna get out there because it's accessible mostly that one field by side or 4-wheeler. We got a side by side, but that only holds 3 people at the most, so. If you wanna walk, you can walk, but
2 of the farms you can see right from the road essentially, but the one is, it cuts across.
Well,
well, when you see them by the road, you don't see the holes.
I can make a side by side available too, so.
okay.
Yeah,
let's see what we can do to get a couple of vehicles there. I don't know if any of your neighbors have one we could borrow for an hour or 2, but,
I could also bring one if I need to.
Well, then there's 3, so that'll be fine.
I can walk.
Tammy asked if anyone else that needs to be notified. Okay,
not for this one.
okay,
We can inform some of the neighbors if they're interested in it, so.
okay,
They may have some complaints too.
so it's
1
fine.
o'clock PM at 609 480th Street, Sway City.
You think you got it, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, we will shoot for that next week then. And thank you guys for coming in.
Written down, Wednesday, 1 o'clock.
Thanks, Tyler.
that's all.
Take that with you?
Well, if you don't want it.
Well, I need rocks, I need all I can get. Never have too many rocks.
All about location, eh?
That's right.
You wouldn't want them in your yard, or dumped across the floor here, so.
Okay, thanks guys. Okay, no action taken on that today then. We'll revisit that next week. Okay, discussion decision to set date and time for public hearing, crossing Kossuth County Secondary Road. I'll call Doug up for this, for the private drainage tile.
I think
Or do we,
Tad wanted to be here for this too.
Yeah.
okay,
So, according to the Iowa code, or at least the way that Colin Klingbeil had.
Hey Doug, it's Josh. We are up to the private drainage tile crossing, road crossing. Alright, thanks. Bye.
So
Go
according
ahead.
to what Colin, I guess, I haven't really been dealing with a lot of it, but, according to the Iowa code, the auditor was supposed to set a time and date for the hearing. So I don't know whether it really even needs to be brought up to the board. I think it's more something Tammy just needs to set or whatever, but,
Yeah, the reason I put it on here is because I'm not familiar with drainage and I know the board is more familiar. If I understand correctly, this is the first time this has been done in Kossuth County, so it's kind of unknown territory. Instead of me making a decision that's incorrect, I wanted to make sure everybody had a part in that, so. I did put a copy of the, public hearing notice that Colin supplied. And I did set the date for August 12th. I know Colin wanted it sooner, but I wanted you guys to have a chance to look at it, instead of just me looking at it, just because I'm not familiar with it, so. And the code does say that you have 90 days, so that would be well within the time frame.
is Doug coming up then?
Yeah, you said it was heading out.
Okay.
So are you gonna start on it before, with the creek before, or have you started? I saw,
We've already started the project.
I saw some equipment out
Yeah.
there the other day.
Yeah, and kinda wish we wouldn't have at this point with rain we've been getting, but, yeah, we're actually getting pretty close to the road, to the point where we would need to get that work done. Get the stop rain.
Wish it would stop raining.
Yeah. Do I need to sign here? Okay.
Okay.
Morning.
morning.
Yeah, we're up to the, road crossing there for the public hearing and didn't know if you had any comments that you wanted to make on that at all.
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Okay,
You're setting the public hearing, is that correct?
right, okay. Does anyone have any issue with then August 12th at 8 AM?
Doug, is there any information you're still needing for this project, or do you have everything you need? Or do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay,
Just as there was before, so.
And Colin had said that this doesn't need to be published, just needs to be sent to landowners.
okay.
Do you disagree, Doug?
Colin is an engineer.
Yeah,
I don't know, somebody interpreting the Iowa code, you may want to ask
okay, well,
an attorney that question and not rely on, I would think there's a certain way that's, my own opinion is that there is a way that things are set as far as hearings go.
right, and that,
And there are notifications that need to be required, that are required, and no matter what, when it says the auditor sets it, that's what the Iowa code says, but there's another section where it says, here's what the auditor needs to do in order to, or the board of supervisors to set the hearing, so. The Iowa code's a thick, a large book, and to just pick one sentence out of it is, it may put something into jeopardy.
It's clear as mud, is
Yeah.
what you're trying to say.
What's that?
Clear as mud
Clear
is
as
what
mud.
you're saying.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you wanna make sure you do it right,
Yeah.
because if something is brought up, it's a technicality that may delay it more in the future.
Right.
So you wanna do it right to begin with and not have
That-
something incorrect, done incorrectly.
and consistent, most of our public hearings are put in the paper, and so, you know, I hate for this one to be the one that's not, and then somebody miss it, and so, I know it costs more to put it in the paper, but I am that person that likes to be consistent as much as we can. So, I guess at the board, you tell me what you want me to do. Do you want it in the paper?
I would be a lot more comfortable publishing, like, and notifying the same way we do on any
I
other
really
public
just stay
hearing
consistent with it.
from,
And maybe a good thing, like Doug said, to speak with the lawyer, you know, see how they interpret it as well, cause like Doug said, he's an engineer, and as is he, you know, the way an engineer interprets the law versus a lawyer may be different, but just to cover your guys' basis, I guess I don't care either way how you.
Even if it's not required, I'd still like to go above and beyond and, you know, just to make sure that we're covering that basis, that's. You don't always wanna do
not
this.
gonna get in
minimum.
trouble for extra notification.
No.
No, no.
Okay,
So today, is the 29th. I might be able to still get it in the paper to publish on the 31st. Which would still, if there was the 10-day requirement, that would still be in time, so.
Yep.
I mean, that would still be fine if we go ahead for the 12th.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, anybody wanna make a motion to set the date and time and
I'll make the motion.
direct Tammy to publish in the papers?
Date and time, August 12th at 8 AM and publish.
Okay. Motion by Wactor. Is there a second to that? Second by Haas. Discussion.
You got everything by noon to paper today to get it.
The deadline, I think, was yesterday, but, they're pretty lenient. If I get it to them right away, I'll get a hold of them and see if they can get it in.
Okay.
If they can't, I'll let you know.
Okay. Any other questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, thank you, Doug, and we
Sure.
won't need you for a little bit yet here.
Sure.
Yep, thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
Discussion decision to set date and time for meeting on petition from landowners in DD4. This was put on, I think we were considering, was it August 19th? Did I remember that right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's in the packet, okay. Sure, okay, yep, August 19th to be published August 7th.
so what do you want this notice to say? And who's gonna prepare this notice, me?
Notice for providing information requested by landowners on the meeting of whatever that date was, that they requested it.
Okay,
I mean, we're sharing the details of that, I guess, at the meeting, or is the purpose of it, so as long as they know that's what it's for.
so you want me to prepare it, that's what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I could write something up too, but
I just need to know the direction you want me to go, either way, it doesn't matter, just let me know.
I was just saying, for as far as content goes, the purpose is responding to the petition, so, I mean, yeah, if you are able to prepare it, Tammy, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
If you need help writing something up, I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay.
You had presented a spreadsheet you started, and we talked about it last week, how we don't know. I mean, is that, I mean, yeah, I'd like to do that on the 19th, but do you have everything that you need? You have everything that you need to show the landowners all of the information?
Well, I don't think it's just my job to show the landowners what happened,
You were working on that spreadsheet though, you were the one who was doing that spreadsheet.
right?
And last week you said you didn't have everything, and you wanted to make sure you had everything prior to, you know, setting the meeting. Do you have everything?
Well, it depends, I don't have the spreadsheet they're requesting. That's in there, and I guess everything that they're requesting on the petition is in there. But there's other things not on the petition that I think they want answers to, and so does it answer all those questions? No.
Well, yours had a timeline, explain the assessments. We have information to give them for FEMA stuff. And that's, some of that's kind of redundant in how it's requested, but, and then they were requesting, the last thing they requested was the name of the individual, they weren't requesting the documentation per se, that they were wanting a name,
I know that's what the petition says, but I don't think
that's what they're after.
that's what they're after, I think they want a copy of it
I guess,
and that's.
guess we can respond to the petition to, I don't know, I guess that's,
Well, just like we're gonna publish to go above and beyond, I think we better be able to go above and beyond to be prepared for their.
yeah, cause that's gonna be a question too. Yeah, no doubt, I'm just saying that's what's on the petition.
You can't do that without all of the information. And I feel like we're crawfishing, I don't understand why we can't have it. What,
The document.
yeah, I mean, Kyle, can you tell us why you won't give us that spreadsheet? I mean, that explains it, there's nothing on file in the auditor's office to show what that 700,000 was for. And I was told that 700,000 was spread because of that spreadsheet, so can you,
That's not what was said.
oh, what was said then?
The $700,000 assessment was not solely based off of that spreadsheet by any means.
Okay, I'm just saying that the auditor's office doesn't have anything, but does that spreadsheet break down that $700,000?
No, does not break down the assessment. It was not done for the purpose of creating an assessment. It was not done at that time period. It was created to attempt to look at how the bills came in, when they came in, and what their costs would have been or should have been or whatever. But that was in an attempt to figure out what happened, why it happened, in addition to the other situations that were similar to that happened across the county, but it had nothing to do with an assessment time period.
They were assessed $700,000, and some of that dollar amount, I was told there was 3 facets of that spreadsheet, and one of them was interest, but the other 2 were not answered. So,
What do you mean?
exactly what I said. When we had conversations in this boardroom, and we were having a workshop in this boardroom for DD4, where, I'm sorry, I did all of the talking and I wasn't even here when some of that took place, meaning those assessments, so, I wanna see what that was made up of, and I guess I don't know why we're not sharing it. Tammy, do you or do you not have information on that $700,000? Can you explain why they were assessed at $700,000?
No,
Okay then, why are we not showing us what it is for? I don't understand why this is difficult. This is so frustrating, if it's that simple and explainable, give us a copy. I don't understand.
I thought we were all gonna do our own work and come back together and compare.
We can, okay, and how are we supposed to do our own work if you won't provide how that 700,000 was come up with? Period, and you cannot go around that. I'm not gonna argue, I am just so tired of this, I am so tired of asking for this spreadsheet so that we can finish off whatever is needed to explain to these landowners what is going on. This is government at its poorest.
The spreadsheet was built off of records that are in the auditor's office. You have access to the same information.
You're spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels, you have it, you're the one who explained it. Why can't we see it? And it was used, it is not truth when we say that was, your spreadsheet wasn't used for
Wasn't
that
used for
assessment. Well, I just feel like this should not be, you're telling us we need to do our own research, but you were here and you were a part of it, I'm sorry, and you two were too. Come on. Do our own what? I have been to the auditor's office a bazillion times, I've been to Nick, I've had stuff printed off, I've added stuff up, I've done all that. The only answer I don't have is the $700,000 and what that was for. Tammy doesn't either. So if you have something that explains it, show it.
That spreadsheet does not
What
have a
does
$700,000 figure
it,
on it.
what does it have on it? Cause we haven't seen it,
It has a calculation for interest.
okay? And so why are we not sharing that? So that we can compare. I mean, Tammy has asked too, because she did that whole big spreadsheet of phase one with interest and things like that, and it was a different amount. You said it was a different amount, cause I believe it was like $70,000. And that amount on that spreadsheet, I was told was like $300-some thousand in interest. So if we know the interest, we can at least know, because that interest was used for that assessment, period. You can't go back on that, it was. So if we have that dollar amount, then if there are any bills out there that need to be searched for, we can at least see if we're balancing for that 700,000. We can't balance on a figure we don't have for the interest. You haven't even shared the figure.
The interest on our reports that can be generated on the spot today and have been generated when we've looked at assessments this year and last year and every year before that.
So then
Those
why,
calculations are all available from our own software, and that was one of the criticisms that was given at the time is, this isn't a report generated by the county, so how can we have any faith in it? Well, it's not, that's correct, it's not a report that's generated from our software.
okay,
So our software can provide exactly what our outstanding balance is, with interest to whatever date you set in the computer.
so let's just be quite honest. You are not going to be forthcoming to help your fellow board members explain something that was brought to all 5 of us. Let's just be honest, just say, no, I'm not. Let's just put it out there, cause I don't know why you won't give it to us. It looks like something was done wrong.
I've even talked to you one-on-one and said I'd be happy to go through it, one-on-one together, and we
I-
could talk about it as a board.
I asked you for a copy and you said you aren't going to give me a copy, I can come to your house and look at it on your computer. No,
Kyle, don't you have a duty to your constituents to give that to them? Especially if they're requesting
I feel like I've provided a lot of information, and I guess when it's a constant attack on the work that I've done to try to explain what happened, it puts a different light on things.
how is it an attack? By asking to see what you did so that we can understand it better. Why do you think of that as an attack?
it? Is the spreadsheet incorrect?
I don't feel it is.
Then I don't understand why that would be attacked. What, wouldn't that clarify things?
We are trying so hard to get things on a better basis for drainage. And DD4 was this thing looming over all of our heads. And I know I have spent a lot of time trying to make sense of all the numbers and everything. That is a missing piece. And how do you put together all the pieces? You say we're supposed to do our own research. I can't, okay, so I'm going off of what Tammy said and what Tammy's spreadsheet was, because all honesty, she is the keeper of the records. So her spreadsheet shows only like 70-some thousand, or I don't know, I might be even saying that wrong.
It's close to that.
70,000 of interest.
69 something.
So there's a difference. If we need to understand the difference, if it is 100% correct, who cares? Then we explain it. The reason why we're faced with this petition, the reason why we have landowners constantly informing us they're not happy about this, is because it's not
Transparent.
It's not transparent, exactly, it is not transparent. You know, I don't understand this. I don't understand.
What piece of information are you not able to get
I already told you. How about we
You
go
can't
that
calculate
route?
interest,
You know,
but, I mean,
you know what? Why don't you just answer the question? No, I'm not going to be helpful in this situation. Why don't you just do that? That'd be a whole lot easier than sitting here and running around in circles and you acting like I'm not doing my job. I don't think so. Not gonna put up with that. And I really, really want to have this board give a very good answer to these people. Okay, so we're supposed to do our own work, okay? Howard comes up with something different than me. You come up with something completely different than both Howard and I. Josh and Carter, their answer is different. How's that an explanation? How's that good? How's that working together as a board? You just do your own work. How is that working together? You're not working together with us, and I'm getting way more upset than I should about this, and I have asked for it over and over. It's not fair. It's not fair to me to sit here and tell me, basically, I'm not doing my job. I need to come up with my own answer. I'm trying to. But I was looking to you for what you did in the past to come up with the answer, and I guess you just can't share that? Okay, fine, you're not gonna share it.
And the board at that time did nothing either to assist or ask questions. I mean, Josh and I included. Well, Roger Charles was on the board 12 years, Jack was on the board 20 years. All of us approved it based on the information that we had, and that's what happened at that time. I guess I don't understand, you know, this is two different things here, but as far as whether the spreadsheet is something that we need access to, whether it's public record, all that we've talked about, that's one conversation that we're having, but as far as who did the work at the time to even come up with something, I guess I'm not gonna be too harsh on that, because Kyle was the only person that did anything. And, I mean, shame on the rest of the board for not. That's kinda how I feel about it. At that time, did I have a clue what was going on? Probably not. You know, I had a supervisor tell me it takes you to the end of your first term to even begin to understand some of the drainage stuff, but that's not an excuse either. So it, you know, all of us got on board, nobody questioned it at the time. And I'm not saying that, I guess all I'm saying is I'm not gonna rail on Kyle for that, because he was the only one that did the work at the time.
I don't think the
Nobody's
question
railing on
is,
him.
no, I don't think,
I just wanna
I'm
see
just
it.
saying that that's the rest of our fault for not working as a board at that time.
I don't think the question is who did it or why they did it. The question is just show us how you came up with it. That's all they wanna know.
And
Show
that's
us
fine.
how it came up, just write it down, show what you have, whatever. That's the question, nobody cares
If we
who
see
did it
this
or why.
spreadsheet, we can compare how things were calculated versus how Tammy calculated. If there is a difference in how we're doing things, and one way is more accurate, why wouldn't we wanna be a team in that matter?
No, I agree, we need to sit down and have that unity of discussion and be able to share things together, that's fine, all I'm saying is that,
We've tried.
Yeah, we can't
I
take
know.
any more time.
I know, and I think it's important, at the very least, that Kyle sit down with Tammy and go through some things to make sure that they're on the same page for one, cause they both came up with spreadsheets of some kind, at the very least, and then,
Mine was after the fact.
I know, I'm just saying, you
So at
both
the
come up
very
with different
least,
numbers
so-
with the same information,
Okay.
theoretically. So
Okay.
that's where it needs to start at least.
If that's the very least that needs to be done, then when we do, when we set that hearing, I'm gonna sit here and I'm not gonna say a word. If I can't be provided the same documentation as the auditor when we're expected also to come up with our answer, I'll sit here and not say a word.
Well,
And
I
then-
feel like if I'm provided that information, it's public record, I have to give it out. What Kyle has is already public record. But once he gives it to me, I'm not gonna refuse to give that information to anybody because it's public record.
No, nor should you, yeah.
If it's easily explainable, if it explains the situation we're in, I guess I don't understand why we wouldn't do that. I mean, you keep saying you already did that. You didn't for me. You didn't in this boardroom, you didn't when we were having the workshop. It sure would have been helpful that day we had the workshop, just when I was asking the question. Okay, all of these were answered except this last assessment. I need the numbers for that.
That's not on that sheet, and I know I've said that before.
Okay, but
But we still need an amount from that sheet. We need an amount from your worksheet so that it was part of what was the 700,000, yes or no?
What was part of what?
What was on your spreadsheet for the interest was part of that 700,000 assessment. Yes or no?
For every bill that comes in, there's an amount of interest tied with it. I've tried to explain the fundamentals on how this works.
No, that's not my question. I want what was on that spreadsheet. You said had nothing else other than interest. But that was part of that, yes you did, you just said it today, we can rewind it later. But that was part of that $700,000 assessment, yes or no?
Interest would be part of any assessment.
And was it part of the $700,000 assessment, yes or no? Yet, are you nodding yes? So,
Interest is part of everything. I've said that. plenty.
yes or no? If it was, I'm taking that as a yes, that it was. So then, if we don't have that dollar figure, we can't go back and answer to the landowners what those bills are, the rest of the bills are that makes up that $700,000. Because for every assessment, there has to be a paper trail. And if that interest is on there, and if something was calculated incorrectly in the auditor's office, just because of things not being done quite correctly, then we need to make sure that we are doing it correctly going forward. So that interest compared to the way Tammy figured it would be very helpful to the whole situation. And they don't know how many dollars of bills they've got to find in order to have that. That's part of the bookkeeping process.
Kyle, I don't understand what the holdup is, why you're fighting so much against giving it. Why not just give it?
Well, I guess Carter hit on it before. I don't know why I was the only one explaining stuff that also happened prior to my time. I mean, you can say this didn't happen while you were on the board. A lot of these projects that I spent hours and weeks explaining happened when I was not on the board too. But I still did it.
I have no problem with that. My only question to you was for your work that you did on that spreadsheet to help come up with that dollar amount that needed to be assessed. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to shuffle blame or anything like that. I'm gonna say it loud and proud, I guess, because I was the auditor when some of these mistakes happened. I'm not hiding from that.
Mm-mm.
I am not hiding from that. I want to make it better for everyone.
And Amber has done a lot of work with me to figure this out. And so have you, Kyle. A lot of work. So let's show them what we've done, what you've done.
We can't, we have to work together on this. And that's not working together when you hold that missing piece. It has to be explainable. Every assessment needs to be explainable from when they were pretty much whole till now. So that we know we are on the right foot moving forward with anything else.
Kyle, is there a reason that you and Tammy can't sit down, or even Amber can't sit down and go through interest and how it's calculated, and as far as how the spreadsheet does that?
I've offered that before. I mean, recently, time has been in short supply,
I know you have a
but,
lot going on, but
yeah,
like starting even today,
yep.
okay.
I mean, I need to talk with Tammy on something else after the meeting anyway, so I'll be talking with her on that, but, the reality is, you're not going to find any spot on the spreadsheet that says $700,000. It's not X number of bills plus interest plus this plus that equals 700 as a round figure, you're not gonna find it. So when that's what is consistently being asked, that is not going to provide the answer, and I don't know how many ways or how many times I can say that. That is not going to give you a $700,000 figure if you add X, Y, Z together. It won't do it.
Never said it would, but if we don't
That's-
have the number you calculated for interest, how do we know how many bills we gotta find? I mean, the bills were not scanned in a way that they're easy to find. So if that number, say, is 300,000 and there was $400,000 worth of bills, at least we get to that point and Tammy's like, oh shoot, we found them all. You know what I mean? We don't know unless we have that dollar amount,
The county records have what our outstanding balance is for every drain at any point in time. That's a report that's run in the auditor's office, we've ran that how many times? We ran it for every drain in the county, we ran it for DD 4 different times. That has the outstanding balance.
So
That has
why
everything.
the spreadsheet? So why the
Be-
spreadsheet then?
Because one single line item doesn't paint a clear picture on what happened, because of the aspects that happened.
Explain it, that's the part you gotta explain on when we set
So,
this meeting, and it has to
I've
be explained.
explained it multiple times,
I don't need it explained right now.
Well, I've
If-
already explained it to people in landowners in DD 4 that have came to multiple hearings discussing this. It's been explained.
Okay, well, good, so you've got a clear-cut way of explaining it, so then when we do this meeting, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Just to bring the conversation back around here for setting a date and time and making sure we have the information for the meeting on the 19th. I guess what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is that Kyle, you're willing to work with Tammy and Amber and any of the rest of us as far as looking over stuff, going through things and whatever, but you're not willing to send it in a file to the auditor or to the board. I mean, is that what I'm hearing? And the second part of that is that document is not requested in the petition, they're requesting a name. Like Howard said, yes, we need to be able to answer questions and go above and beyond, so that's why we're having this discussion to begin with. You know, it's regarding the spreadsheet itself.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna look at the little computer screen at the spreadsheet.
I understand
I need
you.
a paper copy.
All I'm going for is, so, am I hearing that correctly, Kyle? Is that what I'm getting out of this conversation? Cause I don't wanna just keep going in circles.
I don't know, I guess I haven't made I don't know, I haven't,
Okay,
I don't know how to answer that, but I have given multiple, or I've said multiple times I'm willing to go over it
I know, yeah.
and talk through the mechanics of it and explain it, multiple times to multiple board members.
okay. Now, I know Tammy, the question was asked last week, whether this qualified as a public record or not. Is there an answer to that?
It is a public record.
It is. And is there a reason that it's a public record?
It's a public record because, well, I guess you'd have to ask Todd, but because it was put together by a board member, with county information from the county.
So I'm just gonna go with the hypothetical, if I've got a drainage project, if I do some calculations on my own, you know, to come up with something, information that I needed for whatever it was, and I put that in an Excel document, is that Excel document now a public record? I'm just wondering.
That's an attorney question, that's not a me question.
So that's all I'm getting at is,
I asked Todd specifically if it was a public record, and he said yes.
okay,
Now, he did also say that, the custodian of that public record is Kyle, because
Right.
none of the rest of us have it, I don't have it, so I'm not the custodian of that record, you as board members don't have it, you're not the custodian of that record, Kyle is the custodian of that record. So it's public record, but Kyle is the custodian of that record, he is the one required to give it.
sure. Meaning that even if I, hypothetically, if I had the document, I'm not the one required to give it.
Well, if
need
you
the
have it now,
custodian.
you're
Now
also
I'm
the
also
Cody's
custodian. Okay,
of
I just wanna make sure I'm following
Yes.
that, okay. So, well. So, I'm just thinking out loud here, so.
Sure, yeah.
What are the requirement, or what is the process? I know people have come to your office plenty of times and can I do a records request or whatever?
Mhm.
Or, is that the same for a supervisor as going to the recorder's office or your office or wherever and asking for a public records request type of deal, or how does that work?
They have to go to, I think Iowa code says they have to go to the custodian of that record to ask that. So if somebody comes to my office and asks for a recorder, we'd send them to the recorder's office.
Naturally, yeah.
Same thing here, if somebody came and asked for that record, we'd have to send them to Kyle, as he's the custodian of that record. So technically, it's his responsibility to give that information, nobody else's.
So to what qualifies as a records request, is that just me coming to Kyle and saying, hey, can I see this, or does that
It can
have to be in formal writing, or
No,
what is that?
It can be verbal,
Okay, I'm just curious,
yep.
I don't know how all that works. So then it's a question of. Yeah, I don't know, I'm done, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with all that.
Well, so I think that's already been done.
Yeah.
I think the verbal requests have happened numerous times and it's being refused.
How does the board wanna proceed? Do we set the date and time?
I think we have to.
I would hope we can.
We have to, I
Yeah.
just don't wanna short-sight it and then we don't have everything. You know, the 19th, yeah, that's the.
The board,
Good date.
board can present and explain what we have. That,
Can't present any information that you can't get. That's-
well, no, but,
That's not a good answer for a
Yeah.
supervisor. I mean, I can't, that is not a good answer. Why would we wanna leave any stones unturned? We've come this far. Why would we wanna leave stones unturned? Why would we want to just say, well, I'm sorry, but we don't have it, we can't present it to you?
I never said that. I'm just, but
Well-
I don't have, I mean, I don't have the final thing on the petition. So that I,
Well, exactly, Carter, exactly. And I mean, I just don't, are you okay with that? I'm gonna say I'm not. I'm not okay with it. Anything I do on this computer, I consider to be a public record. If I did something that's gonna explain something, I mean, I did that all the time. Haven't done it so much as supervisor except for this DD4 stuff, but when I did stuff all the time as auditor, if I thought doing a spreadsheet would help explain it to the board so they'd understand how I come up with something, I did it. You know, if anybody called me and said, can I see that? You bet. I mean,
Part of the job.
it is, it's part of our job too, as supervisors. And it's just not fair to not work together on something that's for the good of all the people. You know, we want the landowners to, you know, trust us and know that, okay, alright, they did explain that, now that makes sense. Okay, there's a chance they're gonna walk away and say it doesn't. But we have to put forth every effort to explain what was done. Was there some things, yes, that, you know, may have not been assessed correctly? I mean, yeah, absolutely. But we should be able to explain that, so then at the end, that dollar amount, that balance is proven. Here's what that balance makes up. And that is all information we should be able to get from the auditor, the treasurer. To come up with that needs to balance. So I, in an effort of not wasting people's time, if this August 19th is not enough time, okay, then put another week on it. I don't wanna waste people's time by sending a notice and having them show up here and we don't explain. And I said, why did we even come?
I don't know that we'd be wasting people's time.
If we didn't have all the answers, then would we? Why would we wanna do it before we have it all the answers?
I don't understand why I mean, and Kyle, I've talked to Kyle about this too, one-on-one. I don't understand why it's not, fully understand why it's not a public record either. And that's why, I don't know, that's why I'm asking for clarity on some of that. But it's, cause if it's a public record, then yeah, that should be easy, but we still have information to give the landowners. The last thing on the petition is the name of the individual who prepared a spreadsheet. That's the last thing on the petition. That's the thing, the only thing on the petition that we do not have as a board. And so that, the spreadsheet goes along with that, but all I'm saying is the petition that was brought to us, we have information to give them. I think we have some explanation of things. We have information to hand out, etc. I don't think it's a waste of time to go through that. Is everyone going to be satisfied, or is even the board gonna be satisfied because the petition is not completely answered? No.
Well, the
But-
name of the person is not public record.
Okay, so then that's,
It's-
then we have all the information for their petition.
But that's not what,
So
you
I-
know what they want, Carter.
I'm aware of what at least some of them want.
Well, then guess what? You said that whatever.
I'm just
date
saying,
time and-
I'm just saying, do you not set a date and time because, that's all I'm getting at, do you not set a date and time because we don't have something that's not on the petition? That's all I'm going on.
No, because we can't answer, I think that's explainable, we've already, it's already been said here, so that's explainable, that's an explainable piece of the petition that has been researched, and no, the names are not public record.
Mhm.
So that's explainable, that's an answer,
Right,
that's an answer.
well, that's the first time I've gotten an answer on that too.
But also, the questions have been whether or not they've been assessed too much. So, I just want a balance. I just want a balance, and yes, we should be able to do that. We should be able to do that if we print the ending balance, like I got the ending balances from the treasurer's office for several years. or you could call it ending or beginning, whatever you wanna say, ending June 30th or beginning July 1st. And those numbers up to that point of that spreadsheet or that interest and whatever else is explainable because of the projects, because of the FEMA money, those things. The last piece that's not explainable yet, in my eyes, is because I don't understand what the 700,000 was for. That's what I want to be able to find. The other things, they're found, they're explainable. I wanna be able to explain that one, and I don't think that's too much to ask.
Do you feel they've been assessed too much?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet, cause I don't know exactly what was part of that $700,000.
What report from the county would give you any possibility that the district has been assessed too much?
If we knew that, we would already have that.
Exactly.
That's a question. What report from the county shows that too much has been assessed? Because they show an outstanding balance yet.
They show an outstanding balance yet because we're supposed to be getting FEMA money in.
Mhm.
If that FEMA money comes in, they don't have an outstanding balance. I've looked at all of that. So the point of me saying that was that not that I'd be wasting anybody's time, the point of it was, I think the landowners would appreciate the fact that we are working on it and that we do want to make sure that when they leave here, at least we have explained it. It is very possible that maybe they won't agree, maybe we don't even agree, I don't know. But why do it before we have it together? So I think this stuff has been going on for almost a couple of years, honestly. So what's another week or two to ensure that, okay, it's clear in my brain now, and yes, they owe this, or no, they shouldn't owe this. What's wrong with it? I'm not saying we'd be wasting their time, I'm saying, I think I wanna make sure that I understand it as well. I don't wanna sit here and be like a deer in headlights and like, I don't know what to say.
2 weeks would be September 2nd, that'd be an option too. 2019, 26th, 2nd.
Carter
You'll be
won't
here
be
what
here.
date?
I won't be here the second,
Okay.
Okay,
I'll be in Utah,
26th?
26th of August, yeah, I'll be here.
I mean,
Do
because
that then.
Tammy, how do you feel about the 19th? I mean, the 19th is just right around the corner,
It doesn't seem like it's very far away.
and I
Or even
mean,
the 9th.
just so long as soon, I mean, like after this meeting, if we're gonna sit down and look at that,
We need to
then
do
I
it,
feel that we can get it put together.
we need to do it before the farmers get in the field and get busy again. I know they're busy all year round, but we can't push it off any longer than the 26th. I
No,
don't.
and I really don't wanna push it off, I just wanna make sure that when they come, we're presenting what they want.
Do we wanna
And-
set it for right away in the morning, or do we wanna wait a little while?
It's up to you.
I would say do it. I would say do it first thing in the morning would probably be best, that way people can come and get it done and move on, you know, I mean, otherwise people are waiting around all morning for when it's gonna happen. That's what I would suggest,
Through
put it at 8:05 or something,
26.
give time for agenda and claims and.
And we're notifying all landowners, right?
In DD4, yeah.
An extra week to put those notices will be together, will be helpful, there's a few.
So the 26th at 8:05 AM. Is that correct? Okay. Somebody,
Nobody gets it.
yeah. Does somebody wanna set it, or make a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Wactor. Second to that,
I'll second it.
second by Garmin. Discussion on the date and time, August 26th, 8:05 AM. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Discussion decision, approval of drainage repair requests. I think I've got one, don't I? Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, Amber, you got a couple?
Yep, I have two, number 53, section 32 of Burt Township, it's actually already fixed. They sent me a video of the washout, and it was pretty bad, it needed to be taken care of pretty quickly, with more rain that was coming, so it's been fixed, so they put in a surface drain to help protect the ditch from, further erosion. Do you need anything else? That's about it for that one.
I don't see that one in our packet, I don't even,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
didn't,
Did it not scan?
it did not
must
make
have,
it into our
must have not
packet, no.
got scanned for some reason.
do you guys
It's-
wanna look
I'm
at
not, I'm not worried about it, I just,
Yeah, it's-
but I'd say that quick, cause I didn't see what else was on.
it? Yeah. And I've got the video on my phone too, if you guys wanna look at it. And then number 54, section 22 of Home Creek Township, washout on the open ditch, he has it flagged. This is the first I've seen this, so I will have to check into it, but I'll get it fixed.
Okay. Kyle, or you don't have any, hey, you don't have any today. Alright, I've got number 52 and 8132, lateral 23. This is tile goes under Highway 18, for Tony Sink. Wanted me to put in a repair request to try and find it. We've been trying to find it for a while, and somebody needs to do a little digging around there and figure out exactly where it comes under the road. So, that's really all that's for, cause they should have access to it according to the maps, but nobody can find it.
Well, and Carter, I should say the one that, you and I had talked about.
Oh,
If I'm looking into it, but it could be, the state did purchase some right of way, so it's very close to possibly being in the right of way, so,
Oh.
I'm gonna talk to Doug about that.
And if you, I've got, Kevin Roush's number over in Garner for the state, the DOT guy who takes care of that too.
Okay, good, cause that's what I was gonna hopefully get from Doug, so,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, and, I've got a couple of those guys' numbers too, so.
So, yeah, so it's
Yeah,
just a
'cause
matter of,
and they
is
were
it
doing a
right
lot
of
of-
way or isn't it?
They were doing a lot of boring and road work there and stuff, and I wonder if they hit the main, or I don't know.
Well, they said they hit it, well, this is what I was told by the person farming the ground, they thought they had hit it and they had patched it, but it's evidently it didn't,
Oh,
wasn't good enough,
right,
so,
clearly,
if it isn't in the right of way, I've talked to the person who farms it, and then, he has
Okay.
no issue there, but it's just determining whether or not it is in the right of way or not.
yep, yep. Hopefully it is, and the DOT can pay for it,
Well, hopefully.
so. Oh, very good.
I'll make the motion,
Anything-
supervisors.
Yep.
Did you have
Nope, that's all, go ahead.
I'll make a motion for supervisors to handle the request.
Okay, Wactor, motion, second, Haas. Discussion on repair requests. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Alright,
Any opposed? Motion carried. Anything else for drainage that need to visit the board about? Okay. Discussion decision to approve issuing FY 24-25 allocation to the Kossuth County Fair Board in this year's current budget and add it to the budget amendment at a later date. Talked about this last week. Scott's still here? Scott is still
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
behind the pillar. Yeah, I think we're all kind of aware of what's going on there. Was there a motion to that effect? or-
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion by Wactor,
Second.
second by Garmin. We're on top of motions today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, discussion on the motion then. Okay,
Was there any highlights from when it was discussed last week that we should be aware of? You said-
there was, they've had a lot of, or they've had some changeover, transitioning period in the office and things got missed and communication and just, yeah.
Do you have paperwork now or?
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
submitted it,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Okay, if no further discussion then, all in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
alright,
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Now you can call back up again.
Can I
Do you
take a
guys
break?
need a break? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There wasn't a date on this one, Tammy, should I just put today's date for Bill Grandin?
sure,
No.
sorry about that, Amber.
It's okay.
Tell them we'll be
5,
back
10.
in 10 minutes, yeah. Good morning.
Hey Doug, it's Josh. We're taking a quick 10-minute break and then we'll be up
It
to
was
right
great
away.
that your machine didn't work, it rang and rang and rang, and then I got it,
Okay.
so I started
Sounds
talking
good.
to another
Bye.
team.
Thanks, guys.
Yep,
I
thanks,
got
guys.
information in my office for you.
Hope the fair don't get rained out every day.
We're talking more rain again tonight.
I know they are.
They were saying 2 inches today, which
They said we lost a fence last night and broke a window out,
Which
Oh,
is-
really?
over by the Ag Learning Center, that one in between,
Oh.
between there and the sheep barn. Evidently that's laying on the ground.
Something hit it, you think?
The wind, I think, I haven't been down there, I just seen pictures at midnight, so,
I heard a couple
Wind
of
was fierce.
yes.
campers over by Clear Lake or
Overturned.
overturned, yeah.
Yeah.
With people inside.
I went in the basement, I chickened out.
I went in the basement, I did.
My wife did. I went out.
I heard the
Looked
siren, I
outside
heard the
door.
sirens going off and I was watching out the window.
Oh, really? I should've. It was really not that exciting in the basement.
So that's how it works, so
I was standing up on my second floor, it's like, it's gonna hit us, it's gonna hit us.
Not super smart, but I guess I feel like I missed out.
Up and down,
that's.
up and down.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. You know anything exciting today besides the weather?
Just trying to
Well, they're all
learn,
before, they're all out of that fund.
just trying to learn.
It's all that fund.
Well,
Is this discussion, has this been on drain four?
yeah,
Yeah, we finished that today,
yeah.
And?
we're having a meeting 26th August.
Yeah, I hear that.
Oh, you did, okay. I didn't know when you came in.
I asked, Tammy some questions, she said she was gonna get some figures. And with the Goodwin Law Firm, how much money has been spent with him for this?
Unfortunately, there's, multiple cases, so, I mean, depending on if you want broke out by case or total or whatever.
Just a total of that law firm.
We could get, which, yeah, she can run, she's probably got that report for you already.
Sure you don't want
I
to
did.
do?
I,
It's not a small figure, I do know that,
Where's it gonna end?
when the lawsuits stop,
When is that?
I wish I knew.
What determines it?
there's only one that we initiated, the rest we are on defense for basically, so, I mean, what makes that determination? If we don't get sued or when those cases get settled?
When is that, when is the site for that?
So basically, you guys have looked through everything from this week and
I
last
don't
week.
know that I have any data on the top of my
And-
head. I know one we took all the way to the Supreme
And-
Court because it kept
and
getting
everything you
appealed
look at, there's
and
$700,000
successfully
that you're
defended
trying
that,
to decide
but,
where that,
I mean,
How long
that
has
is
this been
whether
going
it's
on?
interest, whether it's bills,
multiple
whether
years.
it's.
I mean,
That
there's,
makes sense.
no, it doesn't, but there was
Somebody-
lawsuits from Joe even before I was on the board.
Amber was right about
Why
that.
that
The
needs
answer, so.
as far as the numbers and all that stuff.
Sometimes.
The part that frustrates me is the work that we put into it or lack of, and, I mean, it's not necessarily the
How is
spreadsheet
that
that's
figured
figured
out?
out. I'm tired of being the only one that's doing the work,
It's kind of,
and
we both landed.
if this is a way to get
Yeah.
other people
But why was it figured out the
do
way it was
We don't have the answers. I mean,
is what they're after.
it's hard to have all the answers to all
And
the
that
questions.
700,000
It's hard to
is-
prepare for that.
It's just 700,000,
Here,
it's not
quite often, I
700,000 in
don't
interest
know.
or 700,000 for a
If
particular
you were
project,
feeling
that's what
like-
you're trying to figure out, right?
Yeah, when you.
Well, on those lawsuits, I mean,
Parts, whether it's principal interest.
I got a
Yeah.
summary from our attorney that I shared with the rest of the board,
Other work
probably
that's done that year.
within the last 2 months,
And that's what
on
you're
an
trying to.
update on where we were with each on a general
Yeah,
scope
what
and
makes
stuff.
up.
So I mean,
Yeah.
the board is aware of that stuff and on pending litigation, there's only so much that I can say, but I don't have a crystal ball to know if he's going to appeal stuff all the way to the Supreme Court for every case. That's the reality. We have
Last.
trial dates set for a couple of them, so I can give you that date, but I mean,
I just wonder
That's-
where the future is for that, and when I've seen it reported in the papers as to the claims from Goodman, sometimes.
No, you're
Based on your
you're right,
time.
Here,
you're right.
Like, I don't
Sorry,
have any
sorry.
knowledge, I'm just remembering.
yeah, I mean,
And the last time
typically
was,
probably.
yeah, typically, except the last time was like 23,000 something in my,
So with that one, there was, a little bit of,
Open ditch, open main.
you know, a lack of understanding when we had a transition in the auditor's office, the invoices that were
Confusing part.
received
That's
and
why
what
it's
was
not as
paid
simple
out for those
as saying
was not the correct amount
Here's the
on a couple of
project.
bills, and one of them was rather
interest
large.
of.
So what was actually due was less than that check was written for,
Here's the bill.
and since the meeting and minutes and all that stuff would have been published, that
Right.
figure has been corrected and changed to be what it actually should have been.
so in other words, it's one place.
The drainage is ridiculous,
It's just all.
it makes no sense, we should just go rice.
It was substantially less than what was actually paid in that check and what was written, so, and that was
So then it.
a transition of someone else doing the duties that hadn't
But that's-
seen that invoice
Right,
before, and
that's not right.
they wrote the wrong number,
So
put it on the
basically-
check, and it
so-
has been corrected, so I just wanted
Are
to say
you
that.
going to
well.
I
submit
understand
a
that.
records request to ask some questions about it?
As trustees for the district, who's responsible?
I was asking those questions.
You guys.
More based on what
Right.
qualified as a record request.
And you're spending,
It's already been
what looks like
Yeah.
our money. With not a lot of explanation,
You bet.
not a lot of explanation where this is going and how far.
Yeah, so I mean,
And asked.
what, having
The county this, they said, when you get a bill from the lawyer, what's it for?
The takeaway for
Well,
me
it's
is
for
that you're
service,
trying to
what
find
are the
out
services?
the,
You know,
not,
if-
I don't know, the justification.
Who
for
checks
that
over that?
$700,000
Lawyer's supposed to
is
check the bills, right?
What it is, what makes
And
it
you,
up.
and you okay them,
Yeah.
so if you okay them,
He has some information.
that says that all this
it's
money,
helpful in figuring that out.
it doesn't
But
add.
he's agreed to work with people.
You don't know if it was for so many hours of this work, or it was for this.
What I'm getting out of it?
I would think there'd be an explanation instead of just, I
Um,
mean, when it comes out in your proceedings, you know, that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's not an explanation.
Especially in the legal side of things for those court cases, it is difficult to give a very clear explanation.
His bill, he sent his bill in for, what was it for?
I mean,
Services rendered, you know what that means?
a lot of times that's gonna be phone conversations, whether it's,
I would've taken it back
me
to
or an
zero.
engineer
We
or
don't know
a
that.
contractor.
We don't know that, we don't know what it's for.
No, but it's gonna be that, it's gonna be legal research, it's gonna be filing motions with the court, it's gonna be all those pieces of the equation. I mean, if we need to try and ask them for more specifics on the bills,
You know, the house department that is paid,
off the top of my head, I don't.
any idea, folks?
I know it's a lot, I know I looked at I tried to total stuff up at one point.
I mean, just running it off.
For those lawsuits at the time, it was just over 50,000, and that's been a lot.
That's a lot of money, not bad.
Yeah,
Policy change that
It's a lot of money.
for this one,
And there's,
it seemed weird that it was a separate.
what's gonna be the best scenario for the district?
Policy change that you're considering with this, like.
the reality is, I don't know what we could have done substantially different when we're being sued on the assessment that we sent out. And, I mean, there's a lot of feelings about that, but
Which assessment?
the most recent ones.
Yeah.
But,
So that's just happened lately.
Yeah.
no, not this year's, that would have been last year's assessment.
Before a few years ago. These
but,
weren't even recorded, so you couldn't
I mean,
find it
On which we got
and
drained
watch
for.
it either, you know.
well, I think we've got three of them at least, I think it's lot 4, lot 2, and
Oh, yeah,
open
I
ditch.
mean,
I,
Yeah,
okay,
people want to go on.
but I mean, the drain cell, on drain board back to it's not.
it was, actually,
Yeah,
it did,
yeah.
try to cover it at the time.
I did too, I used to, I was in high school.
We just get a big figure, here's where it come from.
And yet, you still have,
Pick a number.
I mean, no,
And you get 50% bill, and maybe you pay it. I guess that's never quarter. And then call it aggravation. That costs a lot.
Right.
so,
Mental anguish.
so.
I mean,
words make the word.
No.
I know,
It's nothing
I know
for-
I've had to talk to him a number of times for these cases.
I just say,
I
for some of those
know,
large
I've talked
ones,
with Roger Jarks because he was testifying as one of the witnesses in one of them. I mean, I don't have all that stuff quantified in exact by any means, but when you're dealing with a case like that or a situation like that, there's, you have to inform your attorney what our side is. I mean, there's really, I don't know if there's a whole lot of wiggle room there.
I would just
I'll
make
couple
this
that.
happen to you.
From back.
You said earlier in the situation you were short of time.
the auditor's office.
Well, that
Okay,
was-
very, that's, yeah.
Go
Just saying,
ahead, go ahead.
when you make that statement, I was short of time.
You call them and I just hang up on you. That's not big thing. I'm retired.
So what I said was,
You said you shouldn't say.
well, what I said was, I said lately I've had a shortage of time, and that's been especially due
You
to.
don't get me no minute.
That's a lot of information.
It's a little bit of information. So,
Morris ran out of books to read.
We're here, severe thunderstorm warning.
We are, nickel-sized hail.
the
I
last
heard,
meeting,
I was in the bathroom and heard the weather radio go off and
passed away.
it is, okay.
I understand
It's
this.
what?
Situation.
That's what I've seen.
No, the radar I just looked at, it looked like it's gonna nail us.
It's not an explanation.
Seriously?
And then
Well,
if you're short
Yeah.
of time.
Were we even supposed to get
then
a
you have
storm
get that.
today? I feel like we weren't.
Were there?
As of last night, we were supposed to get the storm last night, not today, but now we're,
Right.
yeah.
Good morning,
yeah, I didn't.
Good morning.
Oh, what it
Yeah,
is.
either way, look.
I might grab some water before
Yeah,
we
you
get
go
started
ahead.
again.
Auf Wiedersehen. You know what that means, right?
What'd you say?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, my German isn't up to date.
Till the next time.
Oh, okay.
We are gonna get hit by a big storm.
No?
We don't need any more big storms.
South a little bit,
That
it's
blue,
supposed,
that blue,
yesterday-
the color?
National Weather Service had
Oh,
it
sorry.
going east, southeast.
I don't know how far away
That
after,
blue is what I
after
like.
went through Clear Lake and Mason City,
So it's in Woodwater.
Casey's on the call. I shut it off and I shut shut it off.
So he doesn't
Oh,
like.
you're up,
They're out
so they
of
got
office.
through Clear Lake?
I got a daughter at the Girl Scout camp, or like,
Oh, really?
she
Hopefully
texted,
keep the reindeer.
she's the assistant camp director, and she texted us and said, what's it like over there? Bad enough.
Did you have much wind at your place? I didn't
Didn't see any
notice.
results, out at the farm, at our house, it's hard to gauge the
Yeah.
wind, although it was active.
It got pretty gusty when the storm first reached town, but
I didn't
about
see anything. of my
15-20 minutes into it, the wind calmed down. It was quite a lightning show, that's for sure.
And yeah, I know.
I got a text message saying that Garner got hit pretty good. They've got roads blocked off, trees gone, power lines down, damage to buildings and stuff, so.
Sounds like Ventura, a couple.
Couple
trailers got
campers got rolled, yeah.
Right, the funny thing was, you know, when you went to dead
That's
calm,
the resolution
and
with
KCCI said, oh, we got 52-mile-an-hour winds coming to Algonia. It never did another thing, it never rained another drop.
I got a text message that, or I saw on the, National Weather Service that Chris had posted, there was 75-mile-an-hour winds recorded somewhere in the county.
Yeah, they were reporting that.
They
weather.
What, near Algona,
Yeah,
county management reported it, the weather video said, near
I-
Algona, around 11:30.
I can't say for a fact, but
Yeah.
I think KCCI said that somebody in a car reported like 85-mile-an-hour winds.
How would you
How
know?
did you do that?
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of. Now, how does somebody,
some people have those little anemometers that they can hold up. I know the
yeah,
Spencer
you
Airport,
weren't moving.
Spencer Airport documented 92.
I heard that on
Yeah.
radio Iowa this morning.
And that, some of that stuff, it's radar, it's generated from a radar, and I think Spencer did have airport.
I'll tell you what, I don't know anything about anything, but there's a 92-mile-an-hour wind, you'd think there'd be some flat corn from that. I was concerned, I took a drive this morning to go,
Did you see it?
I had seen a few sticks on the ground at the farm, but no, I went out to 60th Avenue, so I went out 5.5 miles, and I didn't see any corn or beans damaged.
I think we got more damage from the storm the night before than last night.
Well, we're all back. So, is there any right of work?
No, there's
today?
no
Okay.
request for road right of way.
Okay, well then, whatever you got for discussion.
The asphalt work, they were actually hoping that they'd be finished today. They were supposed to start up about 6:15, they haven't started yet due to weather. So, 5 hours, 6 hours or so of resurfacing, and they're done. With the resurfacing portion, then they have to start shouldering, which they were planning on doing down at B63, moving to P55 and P30. Godbrush and Smith has all the piling driven. They poured one abutment at the end of last week, and now they have another abutment to pour, which they should get this week, and then they'll start getting everything ready to pour deck. We're scheduling some interviews at the engineer's office. We did not get as much work done on scheduling the engineer techs and operators last week, so we'll get that taken care of this week. Working on the annual report, working on some different types of work with the annual report. They were to be painting some symbols in the south half of the county last week. And I think the road spraying is pretty much completed. We did have a citizen that must have contacted some board members about the road, our contractor not spraying trees in the road right away or paint, but that crew, the middle third of the county was just for thistles. That's all they were spraying for. That's what they were hired to do. So, that's from the road. We got a comp plan meeting for the Kossuth Waste Management Association tonight at 7 o'clock. there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the transfer station. Permit needs to be renewed, I'll be working on that. That needs to be completed, by December. We got a bunch of, stormwater permits that need to be completed, we'll be working on that. And then I'm ending some fiscal year reports of self-insurance too, so.
Is there any benefit to this meeting tonight, being there?
It's a discussion of comp plan, if, people are interested in, for the next 5 years, what we should concentrate on as far as solid waste, and it's in this room, yes, so. And it's also available, on, I'll be having a Microsoft Teams meeting, so, and that is available on the internet as far as I know.
For the thistles, do you know when they started spraying thistles?
Oh, it was a couple weeks ago. I'm assuming this year.
Yeah, for this year.
Have you seen that?
I'll try and move this myself here. Okay, well, thanks, Doug.
Very good.
Doug, are you gonna stay for the solar ordinance workshop?
I can if you would like.
I just didn't know.
I mean, I would like you to stay.
Okay, I go grab my file.
Okay, thank you.
Hey Corey, hey, we are up to the solar ordinance here in a minute. Are you able to run over for that? Oh, okay. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. Well, thank you. Mike. He's an Ames. And he said when he had talked to Doug, that Doug said he could just sit in on it and share whatever needed to be shared, so. Doug must not have got, I don't know, something must have got lost in communication there, cause it didn't sound like Doug was planning on staying. I don't know.
Do we need to just do it next week, or? I mean,
Well, we can talk about it briefly here, at least
think we should talk
look
about
over
it.
the highlights of the attorney, but we still need Corey present to. I guess if we've got any changes we wanna make. Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know, I mean, if you guys would prefer to wait a week, we're just gonna come back and talk about it again. I don't know, we'll see.
I think it makes it a little difficult for Corey to learn if he's not here for a conversation about it, but. Not saying we can't talk about it today, but.
Right.
That just seems to kind of defeat that purpose.
I'll visit with him and make sure if we're getting it on the agenda that he's here.
Or communicate with us.
Or communicate with us
See the
something, yeah,
agenda,
yeah.
You're not gonna be here.
Right, right. I just spoke with Corey and he's not in town, or he's in Ames,
Okay.
so he had made a comment that you maybe had a couple things to share with the board. It kinda sounded like maybe, the way you acted like you didn't know much, so maybe some things got lost in communication. Anyway, is this something, it'd be good to have, I mean, if we're having a discussion, it'd be good that Corey be present for it.
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe just a couple of
So these things highlighted in.
highlighted, are,
Who highlighted that?
I assume the attorney did,
I was gonna ask the same question.
but I don't know that.
So is the 10 megawatts and the 30 acres, is that the parameters we were talking about all along?
That was what we had submitted to, I think the highlight, at least just my assumption, I mean, this is a question to be asked, but is that that was the
Stuff we gave.
stuff that we gave her, and she just put it into a ordinance template.
Boilerplate.
Yeah, yeah.
So it also says the county engineer's office will supply the forms, is that the way you want that, Doug, or do you want it to be Corey's office?
That's what I was gonna ask
That would
too.
be the zoning administrator.
Right,
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you, Howard.
okay.
Well, I,
And then
And whoever's the zoning administrator should administer that, I would think.
is all this application requirement stuff, is that pretty standard? You looked at this,
I have, yes.
that's all pretty standard and
Sure, yeah.
complete?
Set a permit fee amount.
Yeah, the fee amount for permits is got left
Having
blank.
a landscaping plan by a certified landscape architect, that's, seems, I don't know, if that's what we do everywhere, fine.
That would, I would say that would not be typical.
And I don't think that's something that the board had,
No, I don't think so
Submitted
either,
either.
but if we're going through it.
Right.
well, Somebody think, it seemed a bit much to me, but I don't know, maybe we have to have a landscape plan for everything we do, and I don't know it.
I would imagine that's probably something the attorney had in from the template they used
Mhm.
or whatever.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I guess I.
well, cause some of them, like Lynn County, when you're putting them up around residential developments and different stuff, I mean, there's a whole other set of requirements they probably stick in those. I don't know.
I don't think they're headed, backyard, we're trying to anticipate every little thing that could possibly happen.
Well, right, yeah. I'm just saying, that's probably why stuff like that's in there.
What's I'm not trying to run this down, maybe struggle, what's a permit fee? What would be a reasonable permit fee and whatever it was?
Well, I'll just say that, for like a change in zoning, $100 is a fee. A subdivision is, $200. Right off the top of my head, I don't know, what the wind energy is, but that was a per tower, per windmill fee, which, I mean, was significantly larger than the $200. And when I say significantly, I think it was, approaching $1,000 per, $750 per. So,
yeah, I think for our drainage district easement and stuff, that was up to $1,000 per crossing.
and that, yeah, but that's really that's not the zoning, that's
No.
the drain.
Okay,
We have a suggestion of what we think it should be here.
And are we talking because would it be per project?
well, I thought you were gonna do it per panel, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking
Per
Per application.
per application, or I was thinking if there was a fee per acre, I don't know.
I would think maybe per megawatt, because if you had,
Mm,
I mean, if it's under the requirements, it wouldn't necessarily apply here, but if you had something that was just over, that scale of a project could be substantially different than something that spanned 1,000 acres, for example, so, I mean,
That's why I was kinda
something per
thinking,
megawatt, I think would be at least,
that's part of the reason I was thinking per acre, because then that would kind of force them to maybe think about their, you know, how widespread they want their panels, and if you did per acre, they would maybe try to condense that a little bit more, get their project into a smaller area.
Unless this is gonna be more onerous than I think it's going to be, I don't think they're gonna be too concerned about
No.
besides that, you gotta have a base fee and then maybe tack on a certain amount per additional. I mean, if a base fee covers 10 megawatts and 30 acres, then you could just say, I mean, I would think you'd want a base fee, whatever that is, and I don't know if it's 200 or 500, I don't know, I have no idea what's normal, and then, then you could add on, you know, additional for more, I guess, if you want to, but I think you better have the base fee, you know.
Well, if you're gonna do base fee of 10 megawatts and, or 30 acres, I mean, I wouldn't go anything below 1,000 for something like that.
Well, we're not approving anything less than that, so
Yeah.
I have no idea, I don't know what's involved, I don't know what work we're gonna do, but that's fine, I can go with that. Does that seem out of line, Doug, or does that seem too much, or $1,000 for a?
I would think that would not be out of the ordinary.
And it's $1,000 per applicant, megawatt, acre, you guys are talking all different kinds of things.
An application.
For an application,
Okay.
if you want. I'm not, I have no agenda, it doesn't have to be more from my standpoint.
To be honest with you, I don't know how much. If everything would stay on one parcel of land, whether it is, I'm just gonna use some fictitious numbers, if it's 10 megawatts or 100 megawatts, if it's all on one parcel of land, the amount of work that would be required to review everything would be similar. Now, if it starts getting to be 2 and 3 and 4 parcels of land where they would have some sort of a transmission system that would be moving across participants' lands, then you start really getting into more review required. And where you're gonna cross roads and different things like that, but, so what I am hearing is most of the time these are staying on the same parcel, or they're staying on a parcel that is owned by one person. I've talked to a couple of different people that have actually made some agreements. And I've also talked with utility companies who say they're buying the land. They find a person that's willing to sell. A landowner that's willing to sell. And it's one of those things that after the first application, if it takes more work, you amend it by increasing the fee. So maybe that's something that you could have the attorney write the ordinance in a way that the board could easily
Alter.
change the fee without amending the whole ordinance.
Subject to change.
Just in a way that, with some language that, the fee can be changed by a resolution of the Board of Supervisors. Something to that effect. That way you don't have to go through all the publishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Different types of notices.
I like that idea.
Me too.
So are we thinking 1,000 per project and then
For applicant.
per applicant?
Application.
Yep, and then adding that disclaimer that we can change it by resolution.
That's all right.
Yep.
Something else I noticed just below that, there is no defined setback for public conservation area.
Oh.
Article 5B subsection F, there's no defining there.
Sure.
all of that, I think anything that's highlighted, the attorney wants input
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Public conservation area.
You match the right of way at 200 feet or?
That's what I was kinda thinking, because the public right of way is for public, use of the public, and so is a public conservation area, it's for use of the public, so that would kinda match up to me.
So, public right of way, you believe they're talking about roadways?
Yep.
Does it need to be 200 feet off a roadway?
No. I struggle, I mean, when the property line is 50 feet, these, I don't think are.
Did we put in 200 feet for?
I think we did.
I don't remember
But-
talking about that, I remember talking about the drainage tile.
Yeah.
And the.
I didn't remember the right of way.
residents, But I don't remember necessarily.
I was thinking about that too, I didn't remember talking about that.
With the wind energy, we say, I think it's 600 feet or 110% of the height of the tower,
The tip.
whichever is
From the-
greater
From the right of way?
from the road right away. With a, and that is simply if it would fall over.
And or ice dropping off,
So anyway, this, I would not, I don't think the impact to the road would be the same.
No, but if you're getting trucks into your project area and stuff to, you know, dig and do all of that stuff, is that gonna leave enough room if you only had 50 feet to the road right away?
That would be whoever's constructing it, that would be their problem,
Right.
not the road department.
And is that 200 feet from center, or is that 200 feet?
That's from the road right of way, so.
From the edge of the
So from the edge of the right of way to,
Right.
yeah, that,
So would, I mean, so is 50 feet enough when you're thinking that, since property lines are 50?
well, I mean, if we've got drainage tile 100 feet, but that is from center of tile.
I would think it's kind of a property line, I don't know, I view it as similar to that, but.
Our existing zoning ordinance requires 60 feet from local roads, 80 feet from primary roads, state highways. And I would
I don't know, maybe we
think
should
if you
follow
would
that.
Yeah,
keep
that's-
that the same, that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
adequate for this as well.
Would you say it was 60 feet?
I think it's 60 feet and 80 feet.
And the 80 feet's a couple.
Would be the primary, yeah, so US 169, US 18, Highway 9, the 15, 17.
And
State
that's
road.
outside the right of way, right?
That is right of way, yes.
I think that's fair, we should do that.
Keep it consistent.
And not trying to be difficult, but is B in there, is that drainage ditches, is that what we're
Mhm.
talking about?
Yeah.
I was wondering that
Yeah.
too, yeah.
It probably should be specified as drainage ditches, yeah.
Open
Right.
Drainage.
That can be easily confused, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just any waterway in the district right away.
Another storm coming.
Yeah, the radar looks kinda scary too.
Good thing we're in a nice brick building.
And when we talked about the occupied residents, were there going to be waivers available as well? If, say, there was, we talked about that,
Right
didn't we?
there.
If you go back to one just above that, section L, waiver requested for specific application purposes, requirements upon showing of impossibility or hardship may be requested at the time of application. So there's
Unless
In a
property
section
line
there.
is like. There's only looking at the highway.
I think you wanna go to K. Any property owner setback distance requirement waivers, I don't know exactly what that is saying there. I think L would be a waiver that the applicant would be requesting. But
Wording on K is a little.
yes, it's ambiguous, but I think that it needs to be, if, for example, an occupied residence would waive the 500-foot setback distance to 100 foot, then for that particular situation, a recorded waiver, which was in the wind energy conversion system, that was possible. And that was used with some different situations. So I agree with you, there needs to be something in there.
Well, I think for the non-highlighted areas, I mean, I'm not trying to make a decision for the board or anything, but would, I think it'd be good for us to, now that we've seen it, had initial review, to get on the phone with the attorney, just to make sure we're on the same page, because we've never had a conversation with her as a board. And just to have Corey present and with the attorney and just go through things so we're all on the same page, and then we can move forward with that. Does that sound fair? So if, send an email to Maria and see what her availability is for, is it Marie? Maria, I think it's Maria.
I can't remember, but yeah.
See what her availability is for meeting with us. Sometime next couple weeks.
On the phone is fine.
On the phone is fine, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Do we decide what we're talking about for a setback in this conservation area, just the same as the
Oh,
roadway?
I'd almost like to look at some other, I don't know, other ordinances or what other requirements are, just to see what would be a reasonable
Okay.
one for that, rather than just throw out a number, but I don't know, we can come back and have that number ready.
I didn't wanna shove the anti-landscaping plan thing
Oh, no.
down anybody's throat either, but I just.
Well, that's a question we can have for the attorney, is kinda where I was going with that, so.
Okay.
Yep,
I would imagine that's probably a little more tailored to the solar, since the impacts of it are maybe more visual than,
mhm,
like with wind turbines, you have a lot heavier loads and heights of the structures and stuff like that, so.
Well, it is something though that, if, noxious weeds,
Yeah.
controlled noxious weeds would, would have to be understood if they were gonna have some sort of a wildflower plant or something like that, natives,
And it.
controlling that kind of thing, if they have, I don't know if they would have rock, just make a big, 40 acres of lay down yard with rock and keep that rock, cleared, but I think there definitely needs to be, some understood things there that are expected. And if that's part of the landscaping plan, I would not, maybe that's
Well,
what it is.
with that, it does talk about soil and erosion mitigation plan, which probably would be valuable. I don't know if there's more details that needs to be included on what that would really entail, but, there's probably some value to some of that, if not all. And I mean, since they were talking about a landscape architect or certified arborist, I mean, maybe that would correlate with the trees around the exterior of the project or anything like that they might be doing, so.
Questions for the attorney on some of that,
Doug, road use and repair agreement is, I mean, you can't anticipate everything, but they're not gonna be heavy loads, you don't think, you wouldn't think.
Right. I would think the developer would want to have some sort of an agreement. I think from the county's standpoint, it would be beneficial to have an agreement. I don't think that the opportunity for damage is there, however, if you simply have something there that if damage does occur, how it's taken care of. If it's not taken care of in a satisfactory amount of time, the road department will repair it and it'll be billed back. So I don't think it has to be a real elaborate, but by the same token, we're talking probably 4 to 5 miles of road as opposed to 30 or 40 miles of road. Again, just because one parcel versus multiple
Right.
locations.
Okay.
There's still, the one thing that would be heavy is they're gonna have some sort of substation. And the material that goes into those substations are large.
You get the impression that they're trying to piggyback on the substations that are already there, but you never know what they're
Yeah,
gonna do, right?
I think they wanna get to some sort of a transmission line, but,
depends how big they are, you know?
I've said it before, I know more about wind energy than I ever wanted to know. And, if there's some development of solar energy, I'll probably say the same thing after that's taken care of.
Very good, we'll continue this with the attorney, with Corey, and go from there. Thanks for being here, Doug.
Sure. Is anyone going to just put some of the comments or request some of the comments
I did
to the
take,
attorney and then,
I did take notes, so, when I email her, I can
Right.
submit it with the notes if you want.
correct, yeah. I'm gonna take that document and put some changes on it, send it back to her. so
Yep.
She can prepare for
I can do that.
that. Alright.
Sounds good. Okay, a discussion with you, county
Okay.
auditor.
Okay, next Wednesday, the 6th, is the countywide breakfast in Littlemore at 8 o'clock. Next week, we have presenting years of service awards, approving pay app number 3 for DD4 Lat 40, set bid letting date and time for Lesher Idell Saturated Buffer Project, approve the Kossuth County Handbook. At 1 o'clock, we'll view Gorskowski's ground. And that is it for next week. We're working on finishing up taxes. And getting, caught up on drainage, so.
I'm making sure, I was under the impression that this the thing at Kossuth's was next Tuesday, is that correct, 8/5? I wrote down 8/4 for some reason, so I'm confused a little bit.
Tuesday at 1 o'clock?
Tuesday at 1 o'clock,
The 5th,
yeah.
okay.
What, did I say it wrong?
No,
No.
I wrote it wrong, I just wanted to
Okay.
clear up what I wrote and make sure I've got it right.
I mean, can I ask something, I mean, maybe this is silly, but that doesn't sound like too much of an agenda, and granted, some other stuff could come in. If we're done with our meeting, I mean, say our meeting's done at 9 o'clock, I mean, can we kinda leave that time kinda open a little bit, because.
Be nice to just get it, yeah, get it
Yeah,
done, get it done.
we would have to not set a time then, because if we set a time at 1 o'clock, then that's a hard time.
Well,
As
exactly,
long
and
as
that's what I'm just saying, if it's just gonna be like Tad and then the Gorskowskis and us, I mean,
As long as it's not listed on the agenda specifically,
It's-
we could do it earlier.
We've
if
listed
everybody
things
made it
before
work.
to follow regular meeting, correct? Just without like a time, just said, following the regular board meeting, the supervisors will visit landowner, da-da-da.
I mean, I think they'd probably be okay with that, don't you
Yeah.
think?
I would-
I'd just have to call and let him know.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get Tyler to be there too.
And Tyler,
Tyler.
yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
and I'm requesting that for selfish purposes, I have to leave for the state fair that day.
no,
And
That'd be difficult.
I'm kinda hoping if it takes
Yeah.
a while out there, I'm not leaving like it, you know?
yep, yep.
Did we set that in a motion though, or did we just schedule that? We didn't, I don't think we had a motion on that.
I don't think we had a motion, but
No.
I knew it.
Okay, for the sake, cause we'd have to revisit that if we did, but,
No, we had no motion on
okay.
Yeah, no
Okay.
motion, so,
I just
and,
wanted to
and
make
I,
sure that we weren't out of line.
so I can call them and tell them that you just wanna list it as to following, just don't put a time, just after we adjourn, just put,
Actually, it'd be right before we adjourn,
Yeah.
because it'd be part of our meeting.
okay,
Yes, we won't adjourn.
We won't adjourn
Okay.
here,
Until
we would
after that,
adjourn, we would adjourn there.
okay.
I'll take a vote in Sway City.
Because we'll be giving them, we'll be giving them a notice of when we're
Right,
coming,
right.
like by half hour, 40 minutes, I don't know,
You'll have-
whatever.
Yeah,
That'll work.
And I will call them all and let them know that. Okay,
Anything else?
that's everything I have.
Okay. Howard?
Like we did something, like we did.
I don't know.
I had no committee meetings, it seemed like,
Oh, the assessor.
we did the assessment.
Oh, that's
we were
right.
all there for that one.
Yep,
Kyle wasn't there,
we hired a new
I
assessor.
hired an assessor. The assistant assessor become the. full-
Deputy assessor became.
Thank you for the correction. Other than that, no, I had nothing, I went up to, with Kyle to lap 42, DD4, is that right? Looked at that with, somebody was thinking about, one landlord was thinking about moving the lap 42, and in the end, nothing was changed.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so there's no issue there.
no, went back to the original, once they saw the price and the layout and all that, so.
okay.
So what was asked that day, if they would have wanted to change that, what would have we had to have done?
It would have needed to be a change order and, I guess you'd have quantities that would have changed from the original plan, and prices associated with the quantities. That would have needed to change for construction, to go around that loop. I mean, it was staked out so everyone could see the visual layout of where it would be, what it would look like.
Was the landowner going to pay for that themselves?
They would have paid for the additional.
But they didn't
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
cost,
Yeah.
okay. Alright,
That was the case where somebody thought they were the impression it might cost the $7,000
Yeah.
more, and it was gonna be a lot more.
It was.
I don't understand, one thing I don't understand about that whole event was Charlie sat here the week before, presumably to talk about the same thing that he was here last week for, and it didn't get staked out until Monday of last week, so I'm not sure what he was, but he just knew it was gonna be, well, I don't, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, nothing got changed in the end.
Okay,
Yep,
Yeah,
it'll
good
be
to know.
constructed as originally planned, yep.
That's good to know.
very good. Is that everything? Alright, Amber?
I didn't have anything, we were going to have an, emergency management meeting and we didn't, there wasn't much to discuss, I guess, so we just decided not to have it. And I have a question, in regards to, I had a phone call and, it's Brian Casey and he is working on a private tile. And he would like, there's two routes he could go. And one is kind of a roundabout way to get to the same spot. He's in a consent, so this land is in a consent drain. What does that mean? What's consent drain
Do you
mean?
know where it's at?
Consent
Township
drain too?
section?
Well, of course, I got the paper sitting on my table at home.
Is it drain two?
It was, yes, consent drain two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's two ways he could go if he went the shorter distance, he would be going into a different drainage district. He didn't know if that's a no-no. The other thing, and I kind of wondered if it was, but I didn't know, the cost would be significantly less, I guess, if he did that. But the other thing I wanted to know, what is the rule, cause I've been asked this a couple times and I'm like, I gotta find out. When someone puts in a private tile, can they hook into a county tile without permission? Do they need to get permission? What is?
Not if it's a drainage district, they wouldn't need permission.
Yeah, if
If
you're
they're
in,
assessed.
if you're in the district and the acres you're tiling are assessed for that facility, you have the full beneficial use of it, as I said.
Okay,
You could put in
alright.
you could put in tile every 5 feet, you could put it in every 100 feet, or you could put in none at all, it doesn't matter to the district, but on, like, when we go through reclassification or that classification process, that's one thing, all the engineers say the same thing, is the
Makes sense.
calculations are based on each landowner using it to the max extent possible. So everybody's on the same page on how much they're using it. Now, one landowner may have tile every 40 feet, the next one may have no private tile at all, but they're still assessed the same from the district standpoint.
Okay, so that being said, then they shouldn't cross drainage districts then because they're not being assessed for that district, therefore shouldn't, so they have to,
Cause they're
okay.
not paying for
And that
benefit.
makes total sense, so, if you
I
had,
was gonna say, I found consent too, do you know where it at?
you know what, I'm going off of
Because
the,
that actually dumps into
It was-
84.
can I see?
Yeah, if you
Where the
swipe from the
names are.
side, it'll go back.
Okay, because it
So
had
what
to
does
do with
consent
the
drain
Sigabarth land
I don't know.
and then the Raddick land. Yeah, and I was looking on the drainage map, so if we looked at the drainage map, I'd be able to show you, and I could go get a copy of it, but if you want me to. Well, see, here's the Raddick, so,
So it's probably in that area.
Means that they're
yeah,
okay
it's
with-
right, because it goes right over that, it has something to do with the road.
I'm sure that's what it is, Josh.
Probably going straight to the ditch would be my guess.
Yeah,
Until I'm told
So-
otherwise, that's what I will do.
That one, if they're just crossing the road, actually consent to, based on the map, and I mean, these can vary a little bit, but what I see here is that looks like it has access right to the top end of the ditch. So,
he was
If
saying
it's-
there was, a
Unless
smaller lateral and it wasn't as large of a tile, and so that was his concern too. And so that if you went the other way, which is another drainage district according to what I saw on the
I
map,
wonder if it's down
it
here
would
going
be-
that way.
it would be a larger tile. So,
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the specifics of it, so I mean, if it's this area, specifics of that would
It-
make a
it-
difference, but,
yeah,
um,
it is that
looks-
area.
It looks like that area is draining into Tri-84, which would be the next, or, yeah, it's, I'm in Palo Alto too, so it's
Well,
try
when you
84.
follow those lines, to me, it didn't look like that. Looked like it was in the, it looked like it was in the consent drain.
Well, this land, like, whatever over on this side would be in consent, but then it comes up and it goes down, so consent 2 probably pays an outlet fee to try 84 would be my guess, but we have to check to
Yeah.
confirm that.
So if that's
So there-
the case, then he could do it the shorter route.
Potentially, because they're already paying for that benefit, so that's where you would have the specifics of the situation, that they're already paying for that benefit for those acres. So,
Okay.
if that's the case, it might be possible, but fine tuning details would be
Mm-hmm.
So who does that,
what,
the details?
I mean,
Well, I think
If
he,
you're-
I think he should come in and show us exactly on the map where, and just so we can determine it. I mean, you can tell me all you want, but just to see, I have to have the visual more and see exactly where the spot is.
yep. And,
I'd agree with that, and I also think you wanna give the message that, hey, you're not crossing drainage district lines
No.
based on my word, that's got something that's gotta,
yep,
Yes,
Yeah, that-
exactly.
that should be in the boardroom.
Exactly.
And it should be recorded for the drains historical purposes.
So I feel, so Kyle, what is a consent drain?
Yeah, what is?
The Google doesn't say anything.
The Google.
I'm not exactly sure why it's labeled that way.
Okay.
I wonder if that goes back to how it was established at the time.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there's procedures in 460 on how to establish a district, and I wonder if they, and this is somewhat taking a guess and throwing a dart at the dartboard, but I wonder if they had actually constructed the tile already and then brought it into a district so that it had the backing of the code and all that sort of stuff, and it was consented to by the landowners, but
Oh.
that's a creative conclusion that is not founded in anything solid. That's a best wild guess I would have on the spot, but I don't know.
Okay,
So, and we can look at it, at the map again after the meeting, but the proper channel would be for him to come in and talk to the board
Probably.
and get that on the agenda.
And if,
I mean,
if we look at the if we have the classification schedule, or even what a bill would actually look like, you could see if those parcels receive benefit from the lower facilities, and if they pay for that benefit, then they have the
Yeah.
right to use it.
And that makes sense. That does make sense, so I think that is the route I will go. Tell him he should be on the agenda maybe next week for that.
Yep. Do they have a complete tile plan of the area that they want to tile? 'Cause
I think that's what he was working on. He was
Okay.
working on the plan, but he didn't wanna finalize any plan until he knew if he could, or if that was a possibility. So I think if we tell him, that yes, it's a possibility to go this route, he still needs to get permission for
Well,
that.
if he could bring in, I'd say maybe the two alternate options of, if we can do this, we'll go this way with it, and if we can do that, how that gets split or whatever,
Yeah.
that
I
would
mean,
be
he wanted to
visuals
go,
that would
he wanted to go the DD 84 route. It was at 84.
try 84.
Try 84, he wanted to go, that would be the best route. Hence the question,
Which,
consent drain versus,
yeah, and I mean, we can look at the map afterwards or whatnot, but what I see on my phone, it looks like consent 2 dumps into try 84,
okay,
what I see.
okay, perfect. I don't have anything else.
No.
I had Central Iowa Juvenile Detention Center on Friday, I guess maybe the biggest highlight is the Hardin County case. We are going to set up basically a in-person, face-to-face discussion with me and our executive director Tony and our attorney and try and get that all hammered out and come to a settlement agreement that we can work with. So hopefully we will get to a conclusion on that soon. Otherwise, we kinda reviewed financials for end of the fiscal year and ended with a substantial surplus, or positive balance that way. It's a little bit less than expected, but still a significant balance in the right direction. And then, I haven't opened it yet, but I got a thing here from Faribault County, I believe this is the, finished agreement for DD 129 and CD 41. I believe the only thing substantial that's changed in there since the last time the board has seen it is the splits for the other lateral that's next to it. I don't remember if that's 32 plus, or 129 plus something. But the lateral on the west side, it serves a smaller area, and we got the percentage on how that was split out, and it's basically 2/3 to Iowa, 1/3 to Minnesota. So that's incorporated in there, and in my conversations with their drainage clerk, I believe their board has approved that, so I was gonna get that to Tammy, and we'll probably have that on the agenda next week, so if anyone's got any questions, we can definitely talk about that, but that'll probably be on the agenda next week. The stuff about thistles and roadside spraying we discussed before, I think that's what I got for today.
I didn't have anything other than the assessor. Conference board.
Yep, which I also went to, and I had Care Connections, I just via Zoom, paying bills, last Tuesday. Not too much to report there, just bringing down what was left of the fund balance, and we've got an employee left in the office that's setting all that up. One more month of paying claims, and then we're done. And then,
we did, issue what our balance was here to the.
Winnebago County, yep, so both Kossuth and Worth and Hancock have all paid their share to Winnebago County, for the mental health advocate,
No, I mean.
or not advocate,
No, I
what
mean,
am I saying?
we paid it to Palo Alto County.
Palo
for
Alto
the-
County,
Yeah,
right,
for the balance that
Not
was
Winnebago
left from the
County.
region, yeah.
right, I said the wrong county.
Yeah.
Yep, and, I got a call yesterday from a couple people in Whittemore. Water was backing into basements, people were pumping it out as fast as it was coming back in, and especially on the west side of town. So,
Any better this week?
no, well, so they were dealing with that yesterday, and so I was visiting with Vista Sewer off and on throughout the day, trying to get somebody there. I said, if you can't get there, I'm gonna get somebody, and, so they sent a truck up from Fort Dodge, and we jetted it last night. And they're very nice, I mean, they were short notice, I didn't expect them to get there same day, but, I mean, they were within there a couple hours.
Oh,
And, he sent a truck up and they jetted it, and the water went from 7% flow to 30% flow. So it was improvement anyway, and I haven't gotten any, I had a couple thank yous and I haven't got any complaints, so I assumed it's working better, but.
Like measurements at the outlet or something?
Yeah, they measured it, on the east side of, or down at Second Street where it outlets there, so.
I'm trying to think that street, but I know the last section of pipe, it drops grade very
Pretty quick,
significantly.
yeah.
So, if it's, I mean, in all reality, if it's running 30% there, it might be close to full upstream a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
So,
oh, yeah.
Or, I mean, I'm sure it's not running perfect capacity, but it might be at least trying.
Right, well, there was water moving now, so, cause,
Well, that's
yeah, it was plugged before and nothing was really going, so. Anyway, we'll.
Did we move forward with having them do repairs in there from that meeting, or like not?
Well, that's just under repair requests that I had submitted this spring, they just haven't
Yep.
been the contractor for that, as
Yep.
with anything else, cause that was gonna be. I mean, that didn't even come close to 50,000, so.
Right,
Yeah, but as far as moving forward with the bid, I've been, visiting with them and I'm gonna need to get. I'm waiting, getting a bid from CIT, also does the same thing at Ames, or Ankeny, one of those two, I think they're Ames. Because the three bids that I got were not, I mean, they're not competitive bids, because it's not the same.
Yeah, cause it was the different.
There are different
processes.
options
Yeah.
of doing things, but they're not competitive bids in the sense that they're doing the same thing, so. So, working on that, and, working on getting one under 206,000. Yeah, we'll see, but anyway, yeah, that's all I have, I think, and, yeah. So, I guess if nobody else has anything, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Garmin. Anybody want a second? Second by Haas. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, we are adjourned at 10:52.
Yay.